If you have one ass cheek and 3 toes, I will beat your ass.
Never fall back. We will stay right where we at. We ain't never fall back. Yeah. We ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. We ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. Come up with a game plan. Double XL up in the pen, you can't shake that. All the way gassed up, full tank, man. Moving too quick, keep the cameras in the playback. Dang, so tell me how you feel with it. You put a lid on it, I ain't got no chill with it. This right here your problem, you gon' have to deal with it. Lay it on the line, high risk, that's the meal ticket. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. Never fall back. No lies, no facts. We gon' stay right where we at. We ain't never fall back. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. We ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back.
Welcome to the show. I am your host, Nate the Great, and this is the One Ass Cheek and 3 Toes. How y'all fellas doing?
What's up, man? Doing good. A little bit down in the dumps right now, but we good.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a cluster going on here, y'all, because I was setting up and spilled my water on the floor, and my connection wasn't working. So good times. I think I hooked up to a good spot. So, but there's water all over the floor, so we're gonna just let that sit because the Lions are more important. Damn it! All right. Well, I know Jay was kind of alluding to the sadness. Yeah. Hey, man, credit the Pistons. That was a great game. I mean, that had shades of like the 90s basketball with Isaiah Thomas and John Starks and Patrick Ewing. That was fun. That's what basketball should be about.
Yeah.
That's all right because the Tigers are winning. So that's
there you
all
go.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
so,
good. It's other things to make up for it. So
Tigers won. Yeah. Panthers didn't win, unfortunately. But B's got some highlights or possibly let's talk about that game. So the Panthers played the Battlehawks last night in the Dome. I forgot what they call it. What's that name?
What's up, Brent?
I don't know the name of the dome, but they played in the old Rams Dome. That's what they played. Yeah. They really that community really has adapted to that team. They really love that football team. So
that's good.
Yeah. So B, talk about it. You watched most of the game because I was watching the playoffs. So talk to me. What?
Unfortunately, I did not get the highlights, but
okay, that's fine.
But the Panthers, I mean, they played good. The problem that they had was Nolan took out Perkins and put in Etlin.
Mm-hmm.
Never should have done it. And Perkins was on fire too. I don't understand this 2 quarterback situation. He wants to put the Panthers.
Never been a fan of that, man.
And this is the reason why they're not a consistent team is because he keeps doing this dumb stuff all the time.
Yeah,
it's ignorant and it gets on my nerves because Perkins was playing really good, and they were really they were really on the high end of that game, and then they took him out, and then Etlin got a turnover, and the whole game just went south from that point until Perkins came back in. But by that time, it was a little bit too late. I mean, the Panthers did take over, and I got another. They need cornerback help because 2 times, man, this guy had like 200. What was his name? Hassan Gooden or something like that. This dude was in the NFL for a minute, but he was out there. He's a big guy too. He's like about 6'4", 230 something. Big guy.
Oh, wow. That is a big
and the first guy the guy that's covered him fell on one of the touchdowns, so it was a 67-yard touchdown. And then the next time he just burnt the coverage. I'm like, dude, we gotta get a cornerback on that side that's gonna play better. It wasn't K. It wasn't him. He was like, he's a safety anyway. So, but yeah, you just gotta.
I'm gonna ask you a question, and I don't know if they're eligible or not, so I might answer my own question. But if they don't get picked up in the draft and they become a UDFA and they don't get picked up as UDFA, can they sign with the UFL?
I think so.
they'd have to offer them a contract. Right?
Yeah, they got to offer them a contract.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, if I'm these UFL teams, man, I'm calling on the phone to these guys that didn't get picked up by the NFL teams. Like, hey, let's do a tryout here. Come check me. Let's see what you got. You know, like, these rosters got to be better. What's up?
Yeah, it depends because I look at the undrafted free agents like they want to go play in the NFL. And if the Lions don't want me, I go try somewhere else. I'd see if I can get my agent.
Brett said yes, they can.
Okay, great. Yeah. So there you go. So they
get Dallas on the line with somebody,
Right. So a lot of these teams might probably call a lot of these players that didn't get picked up by NFL teams and on their 90 roster and probably just, give them a tryout. So that's great because that
right there, that trick play reminded me of what the Lions did last year. They ran a trick play, it was a flea flicker. And it just was the one that they got the long touchdown on. That was the one that killed the Panthers right there. That one right there.
I thought you were going to say the one where J-Mo threw the ball.
No, this was not the one. No, actually, yes, a receiver did throw the ball, but he was an ex-quarterback, so he had ball skills in that.
Did you watch the game? Did you watch the Panthers game?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, I know B. I know you watched it, but Jay, did you watch it?
No,
okay.
I didn't get to watch it.
That's
I was
cool.
trying to hurry up and make it home.
Yeah,
I saw the text message with B kept saying Nolan. What the hell are you doing? I was like, oh, something must be going on because he really keeps repeating that name. But I didn't get to see it. I know they lost.
Yeah, B was great at doing the play-by-play. So shout out to B on that. Like I felt like I was watching it. So good job, man.
By the way, you can see those on YouTube. Man. Those games on YouTube.
Okay.
Without having to pay for nothing. So that's
why it's on Fubo Sports. It just comes right on. I get to see.
So where are the Panthers right now in the division? Where are they?
They are tied for. Well, they're tied for second, but basically because they lost to Birmingham, they're in second place. Because Birmingham lost yesterday.
Yeah,
so
they lost again. They lost to the Showboats, and the Detroit beat the Panthers.
Yeah, well, the Showboats didn't have a win until they beat Birmingham. So it's like any given Sunday for the UFL. But if they would have won that game. If Michigan would have won that game, they would have been in first place, and they screwed that all up.
And it kind of feels like the Showboats are coming back down to reality as far as the UFL. Like they were kind of the cream of the crop, and now they're similar to all the other teams because this is like the third loss.
Dino Tomlin, Robbie.
Mike Tomlin's son, right?
Oh, is that his name's Dino? Wow.
That their parents did not like him.
Yeah.
They named Dino.
No.
Anyways, moving on. Who do they play next, B? Who's the next team they play?
The next team they play is not that one. Let's see. The next team they play schedule. Give me a schedule. Thank you. The next team they play is the Defenders. The 4-1 Defenders.
Yeah,
the Defenders are pretty good.
Yeah, is that in Detroit or is that in Washington?
It is in Detroit.
Okay.
Fortunately,
hey, they might do a beer snake in Detroit.
They got to play two good teams in a row. They got to play the Defenders and the Renegades. The Renegades are pretty good, even though they're 3-2, but they played some really good games.
Yeah, so, their quarterback and they beat.
And the one loss the Defenders got was from the Renegades. So
yeah, and their quarterback Tiamu, man, he was on the Lions practice squad at some point, and he's really played well with the Defenders. So shout out Tiamu. Did Puka slap a fan yesterday? I don't know.
No, really?
What?
Where'd you Robbie, what are you smoking?
You have
Robbie?
to say allegedly, Robbie. If you don't have actual evidence, you have to say allegedly.
Yeah, we don't want to get reported here.
Allegedly.
Well, I don't know about
All
that.
Right.
at the same time. But
all
anyway,
right, well, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to some Lions news because yes, fellas, we did have some Lions news outside of the draft. We're gonna go into the draft later, but we're gonna talk about some Lions news that happened. So, real quick, Jake from State. How'd you say it? B, you said it better than I did.
From Jake from State From. That's how you know.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a tongue twister there. Jake from State From got released. So right now the Lions have 2 quarterbacks behind Goff, Hooker and Allen, and then the Lions also re-signed Michael Neese. Last year I think he was hurt most of the season, and so they re-signed him, probably like a 1-year deal or something like that. Just your thoughts real quick on those 2 guys. Good, bad, indifferent. What do you think?
I think they might. I think they might resign from. I think they just let them go for right now because they had all the draft things coming on. But they might resign from depending on how the situation is between Hooker and Allen, right. And then because they're going to always keep somebody on the. You're going to keep 3 quarterbacks. Well, they're going to
at least have 3 quarterbacks for preseason. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're probably going to sign to the practice squad again, no doubt.
Yeah.
Neese is fine. I mean, hey, I ain't got no problem with that. It's another offensive line. So.
Yeah.
Is from the number 2 or 3 quarterback?
He was the 3rd quarterback.
He was the 3rd quarterback until they got Allen.
Okay, got you. Because I was going to say, what do you think, Hooker? Like, this would be his 3rd season he's sitting, right? Like, and I mean, I'm pretty sure they didn't spend a 4th round pick to just have him sit on a bench.
3rd round pick.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird, the whole dynamic of their relationship, because they expect big things from him, but he just doesn't seem like he get the chance. But go ahead, Nate.
Oh no, just kind of allude what you're saying. First off, with Neese, I think Neese is a nothing burger now because of the guys we got in the draft that we'll talk about. But let's go into the next Lions news. So the Lions will be playing in the Hall of Fame game against the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh's Chargers. And going back to Hooker, I think that Hooker's going to get a lot of playing time in preseason because we know Goff's not going to see the field at all. Now, that's probably another reason B was saying they bring back Fromm, because they need another quarterback for preseason. I don't think they're just going to play Allen and Hooker. So Fromm probably will come back. And the Lions, I don't think they picked up anybody on the UDFA as a quarterback either, right?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Yeah, and Teddy Bridgewater is still a free agent, so they can still bring Teddy if they want to back. I don't think that's going to happen, but they still could if they wanted to. But, I mean, Hooker's a backup, man. I mean, that's just what he is. Like, that's it. Like, we need to stop with anything past that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
And by the way, Robbie, yeah, this is legit. I just saw the video. Yeah, that was Samson Nakua. That was the older brother.
No, are you serious?
Yeah, he did slap the fan. The fan was all in his face, and he just jumped up there and slapped the shit out. So
somebody gets in your face.
He's going to be fine.
Yeah.
He's going to. Well, no, he was in the stands, and he was up there talking to him, and the guy was like, you do what you can do, and he slapped him. No, there's nope. Don't even try it, Nate. There's no excuse for him to be slapped.
There's no excuse for that, but when you get in somebody's face, somebody gets in your face, man.
And then you were in the UFL, so really you shouldn't be doing nothing.
And on top of that, you're not making a lot of money either. So that's just a huge fine that he's gonna get hit with.
Where are you seeing this?
It's on X. Just put in there Nakua slapping fan.
All right.
Bring in Shizer quarterback to elevate Hooker's confidence. Ooh, Shizer.
Did they bring in a Shizer quarterback to elevate confidence?
That would be Allen. Comment.
He's probably talking about Allen. I don't know if Allen could. I don't know. Allen isn't. He's not the great. He backed up Josh Allen, and then he went to Pittsburgh and backed up Russell. So I
would say probably Allen has a little bit. Well, he's definitely has more years on Hooker, even though Hooker's 26 years old.
Look at Jay.
Yeah, I have to see it. I'll have to see it after this, but yeah. So I think he's a better thrower than Hooker is right now, but Hooker is just better overall. So like I said, if Hooker's the backup this coming year, I'm fine with it. It's whatever. I mean, we all know that if Goff goes down, our season's over. It doesn't matter who Hooker.
That'd be bad.
If Hooker's there or whatever. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen. All right.
Now, really quick, I just have to ask you guys. What do you you know? I know you haven't seen the video, but what would prompt you to slap somebody? Right, like obviously we know the fans heckle, but I'm pretty sure he's used to that. You played in the NFL.
I'll be honest with you, man. If somebody gets in my face, I'm gonna do something about it. That's just me, because that's your identity. That's your personal zone, bro.
Yeah, but in that time space, really quick, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but he's like the fans is in the stand, and he's like looking up at him, going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Is he face to face with the person like right here?
No.
He's
looking up at him.
So he goes like this, like just
the fan was leaning over the rail, talking stuff to him.
Oh,
and they were going back and forth, and he just said, he jumped up and slapped him, and then walked away.
I mean,
I don't know who that other guy. I don't know who the other player was that was laughing at the fan.
He's like, you got slapped. But this is
there's got to be more constraint. I agree with B. If that's the case, there's got to be more constraint. I thought he was right in the face of the guy.
No.
Okay, because if somebody's right in the face of me, I'm throwing hands. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. Get the hell out of my face.
We haven't re-signed Teddy yet. Teddy's still out there, so we haven't re-signed Teddy. So he's not even a part of that whole equation right now.
Right, and I don't think Hooker even has a ceiling. I'll be honest with you.
That whole game was, and just to go back to the Michigan Panthers game real quick before we continue and finish it. In that game, that whole game was wild in the first place. Yeah. It was a really good game, but it was wild.
Back and forth.
The guy on the one that caught the 2 touchdowns, the long touchdowns I was talking about for the Hassan guy. I think his name was Hassan. I forgot what the hell his name is. But anyway, he came back and he's giving an interview, and he's like, them MFers can't cover me. And I was like, oh my God, he done swore on live TV. And so the announcer said, well, we'll apologize for that use of uncandid language.
That is just,
and sometimes and sometimes that's one thing I love about the XFL, or I'm sorry, the UFL, is that they have hot mics during the plays, and the coaches, like I've even heard coaches curse like, oh shit, I didn't want to call
football.
That. It's football. Yeah, exactly. So I love it.
No, I don't. This is the thing I don't get about it. I said, don't start making it a family. It's a family sport. No, it's not. It's football. People cuss all the time.
Yeah.
And you know what? And for people that say, why the NFL won't do that is because of betting. Because if they knew what the coaches were doing or thinking, the bets would be off the charts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the overs, the point totals, the spreads, it would just kill betting. So, anyways, all right. So real quick, Hall of Fame game. I know it's not a big thing. It's the first game. We play a little earlier too. It's another game for us. Mm-hmm. Probably will not get the first game of the year because of the way the schedule is and it being a shorter time to prepare and all that, being a shorter week that first week. So what are y'all's thoughts? What do y'all want to see? What are y'all excited to see? Just give me some quick thoughts on the Hall of Fame game. What you're looking forward to? Just Lions.
Would it be bad? Really quick, would it be bad if I said I wanted to see Ahmed Hussein? Is that how you say his name? I don't want to butcher his name. I hate doing that to people's name, but would it be bad that I want to see him start?
Ahmed Hussein. I think you got it right. Hussein.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hussein.
Yeah, would it be bad?
It would be bad, but it's probably not going to. Well, it could happen actually because depending on if the Lions want to sit Davenport or Mohammed, there's a possibility that he could start because the Lions don't play a lot of players in preseason. They don't play their starters.
Right. They play little.
And they're sure as hell not going to roll out Davenport to start the game and then get hurt in a preseason game. So there's a good chance Mohammed's probably going to start.
Yeah, but I just want to see, I'm really like laser focused on him. And Brent, you are hilarious for that. But
I would say Hooker time. Yeah,
I definitely want to see him because I saw a little when he had gotten the call from Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. He came out and said he would die for that team. He just wants to prove himself. And under the lights, I just want to see how he do.
Yeah,
I think
I don't mean to cut you out, but we're gonna get more into that discussion when we get to his pick because he's one of my favorite draft picks. So. But let's go. B, do you have any thoughts on the Hall of Fame game? Anything you want to see or excited to see?
It's just an extra game that the Lions have to play. That's all.
You're such a.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, for being a Hall of Fame, I guess. I guess. I mean, they need to phase that out.
Just give me anything. Give me something. Give me, instead of a Bill Belichick answer, give me something.
I mean, they really need to get rid of the Hall of Fame game too, because it's really a relevant game. I mean, if they're going to do something like that, they should just have a Hall of Fame show where they have all the people that are in the Hall of Fame go on there and get their yellow jackets and stuff like they do on normal Hall of Fame things instead of just doing that Hall of Fame game. That's a waste of time.
Yeah, I would like to
waste of time. People can get hurt in that time too, even if it is the secondary players. So,
well, I'll wrap up this discussion. I just want to see more Hooker, and hopefully they unleash him a little bit more. That's all. That's what I want to see.
Thank you, Sonny. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I just want to see more Hooker. That's all I want to see. Give me more Hooker for a half, for 3/4. I don't care. I want to see more Hooker. It's Hooker time. I want to see him throw the ball. I don't want to see him running all the time. I want to see some RPOs. I want to see some running, some running. I want to see some throwing, some play actions. I want to see more Hooker. That's it. Just give me Hooker. All right. We're gonna.
It's always funny when you can say stuff like that.
I know, right?
I want to see more Hooker.
Exactly. I want to see more Hookers. Let's go.
Woodward and 8 Mile. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. All right. Jumping on. We're going to go to Kirby Joseph, #1 player paid as a safety. Well-deserved, overpaid. Y'all's thoughts. Let's go. Yeah.
I'll go first because that's my guy. I like Kirby Joseph.
Go for it.
I don't think he's overpaid at all. The dude has 17 interceptions in the 3 seasons he's played so far. And he's putting up he's putting up Ed Reed like numbers. Now I'm not saying he is Ed Reed. Obviously, Ed Reed is a whole different player, but I mean he's up there with them kind of numbers though. And really, I mean, without him backstopping, I mean Brian Branch could probably. I mean, you got one of the best 1-2 combos in the league on that. Well, we do now. Depends on what Baltimore does with their combo now that they got Malik Starks, Malachi Starks. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. But I think he deserved that.
And also to add to that, we found out that he actually has as many tackles as Ed Reed too. So he's not just catching the ball and taking it away; he's also tackling too, and that's
he's making plays. Yeah, he's making plays. That's what he's supposed to be doing as a
Go ahead, Jay. Get in there.
It's a lot to it because a lot of people will say, well, I wouldn't pay a safety that much, but Kirby Joseph has done numbers for our team. I mean, he has really came in big situations, in big spots, and he's changed our defense for the better. I would have done it because he embodies a Lion. I mean, he goes out there and he plays the way the defense, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes want him to play. He's not a selfish player. He never puts his team in spots that actually
I don't know about that one.
Hinders them. No, like really, like he never puts his team in.
No.
I'm he's talking about the comment.
Brent's comment. He said Hooker could get us to the playoffs. Like I don't know about that one, bro. But go ahead. Maybe
he's trolling, but like I mean, I like it. I mean, you remember when Brian Branch had gotten ejected in Green Bay? Kirby Joseph's like, "Hey man, let's just chill. Don't put us in any worse position than we're going to be in. We're going to be shorthanded." So he was that leader on the defense, especially with Hutchinson not being there.
He won that game.
He really did. I mean, do anybody remember him catching that pick 6 on Jordan Love?
Yeah, nobody remembers that.
Not against the Whackers. Not against the Whackers. You don't forget that stuff. Come on. And he picked off Aaron Rodgers twice in the end zone. Yeah. Don't forget that one either.
He was Aaron Rodgers' daddy.
At first,
he loves the Packers.
A couple of months ago when people were talking about it, I was like, I don't know if I'd pay him that much, but I mean, really thinking about it and digesting it, Kirby Joseph is our guy. And what Kirby Joseph can do, and it's better than going out trying to find somebody to replace him because he's putting up good numbers right now.
God,
like all pro level numbers.
Yeah, so, I'll be the first one to I'll be the first one to admit, and Jay, you can attest when I said this because I was skeptical about Kirby, and I was skeptical only for the reason is I want to see another year of him. I want to see how he plays when the chips are on the table. He's public enemy #1 in some people's eyes because of the injuries that happened to those tight ends. Like people are going to be headhunting and trying to go after him. And so he balled out. He said he set a goal of 8 interceptions in the season. And he surpassed that. No, it was less than that, but he surpassed it. I think he had 8 interceptions.
9, right?
Okay, so he surpassed it. He said 8 interceptions
Let
before
me
he
fact
started.
check that really quick. I
Yeah.
want to give you accurate numbers.
But he balled out. He outplayed his contract. He's well deserved of the contract. He's a playmaker that takes the ball away, and that's why you pay him. Okay,
Yeah,
9
interceptions.
interceptions. So yeah,
Yep.
he had set a goal for 8. So, and the thing about this guy is he just takes care of business, man. He doesn't talk a lot. He's not flashy. He just does his business, man. He stands on his business. That's it.
Yeah, you know, and I don't want to discredit anybody because, you know, safeties like Kyle Hamilton, Xavier McKinney, those are good safeties, great safeties.
Yeah.
But where do we take Kirby Joseph? You know, we didn't spend some high-end draft capital.
4th round, right?
He was a 4th round gem. And you didn't have to go out here and spend.
Brad's killing in the 4th round. He got St. Brown and he got Kirby.
Him. And
all pros, both.
I remember people when Kirby Joseph had first gotten picked, everybody was like, who is this guy?
He's asking if he got Kirby in the 3rd round.
Tracy Walker.
Oh.
It's like, yeah, he was actually pretty good. And you should have heard Brad Holmes and how they were talking about Kirby Joseph. So
also the thing about Kirby too is Kirby played receiver back before we went to Illinois. He played receiver, and so he thinks like a receiver. That's why he's such a good ball hawker, because he knows he's got awareness.
He can definitely cut some routes off. Like, I love it.
Also the thing too I love about Kirby, he's not afraid to mix it up and tackle, man.
It was in the 3rd round. Yep, you're right.
No, it was a little bit later, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, it was the 3rd round. I'm looking them up. Yeah, 97th. There you go.
Shout out to Brad. But
Detroit fan name. There you go.
But the thing is too with Kirby is that, like, he tackles, man. He's not afraid to mix it up and get in there, like, and sacrifice his body. Like we see a lot of safeties that can get interceptions, but can you tackle? You know what I'm saying? Like that makes you an all-around elite safety. You can ones that can tackle and also can pick the ball off. So he's well deserving.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm mad at it.
Yeah, I'm not either. We're gonna talk a little bit about Aiden and JMO getting 5th-year extensions. Y'all's thoughts on it? What do y'all feel? Nothing burger, big burger. What?
Go ahead, Jay.
Hutchinson, nothing burger. We know Hutchinson's going to get his contract. JMO, I find it a little bit just cause I know how a lot of people already thought he was going to get traded anyway. But, you know, Jamison Williams, he could possibly be the odd man out. But Aiden Hutchinson, I don't think so. Aiden Hutchinson, he's going to get his stuff.
Do you think it tempers, like B's been saying this consistently, that he thinks that they're going to play out the season and then pay Hutch? Do you think this for sure tempers the expectations of giving Hutch an extension before the season starts?
Goddamn. I don't think so. I really, he may go into the season with a contract extension. You know, I can see it because Hutch is our guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they have to pay him now.
Go ahead, B.
Like I'm saying, like I said before, I think it all depends on. I know all of us are confident that he'll come back 100% and play like Hutch did. But the Lions, on a business standpoint, that's what they're looking at. They're saying, "Hey, we know you broke your leg. We want to see if you come back." Now, I'm banking on the fact that maybe when their first their bye week comes, and he's putting up them numbers. Let me tell you, they're going to pay. They're just going to give him an empty check.
For sure. And Brad also alluded to this in his presser when he wrapped up the whole draft, presser. He talked about, like, because they asked him about a Hutch, and they said, "Well, we're not afraid if Micah gets paid or Watt gets paid. We're just gonna have to bite the bullet." So basically, that tells me we're not pressured. We're not pressured to have to pay him right now. We understand that other teams are going to set the market for their defensive ends, but we're going to pay him what he's deserved to pay. You know, it's like, we'll write you the check and you just put your name in there.
I think with Hutch, I think it's no doubt in my mind, you know, whether he puts up the numbers or not, because if he was really strategically thinking that way, I think they would have gotten a high-end talented edge rusher in the draft. We can get to that, but like, if you really have that sitting at the back of your mind, like, okay, he may not come back the same, and I want to make sure he is the same. I would think the way that Brad Holmes think, very strategical and calculated, that he would have had a contingency plan.
Well, B also said it too, that the fact is that Hutch is a premier passer already in this league. Like,
Mhm.
he's not only a great pass rusher, but the guy can stop the run.
Mhm.
You know, we talk about Kirby having an anomaly like that who can take the ball away at a high rate, but also can tackle at a high level. It's very rare to find those kind of safeties. That's why you pay him that kind of money. Same thing with a defensive end. If you have a defensive end that you can be all 3 downs, that can not only rush the passer, but also can play the run well, and on top of that can pick the ball off too. Let's give him his flowers on that too. Like, you've got a pretty damn good defensive end going forward, so he's worth the money. There's no doubt about that.
I agree. I agree. You know, and I think we're going to find out very soon, especially with OTAs and the camp, training camp, and everything. You'll see like a lot of news about Aiden Hutchinson. I think that's going to be like #1 news that everybody is like going to want to cover. They want to know, how's Hutch leg? How is he? Is he playing it well? Can he still make cuts? Can he move lateral? You know, they're going to want to find out about it, and I think we're going to find out a lot more about it soon.
Yeah, let's talk about JMO real quick. So with him getting the 5th option picked up, this is what I look at it as. If he balls out this year, you either have one or two choices. Either A, you give him an extension, or you trade him. You know, and because that's going to be a very lucrative contract for somebody who gets the trade. Because, you know, you got a 1-year deal and you got a player who's on the uprising, means that the value is going to be a lot higher. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and we just drafted Tesla. Another thing we need to talk about too. So I think personally, in my opinion, that it's kind of delaying the inevitable for him. Unless he just completely, like, let's say he does 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns and near 100 catches. But at
the same time, you're assuming that Tesla's going to be the replacement for JMO. I don't see that. Let me tell you something about this draft. In fact,
but I'm not saying right now, B. I'm saying the future.
Brett, no, that's what I'm saying. You don't know Tesla's going to be good in the future. From point on, these are draft picks, and even though we gave up 3rd round draft picks for this guy,
right?
Let me see. We got him in 90. Not had that one. Was it? 2 3rd round picks for him.
Almost compensatory.
And let me tell you something. And to Brett, it's because there was really nobody that great in this draft. This is a mad draft, so you didn't really care what draft picks you were really giving away. Probably, next year's 3rd round pick isn't exactly the greatest thing to be getting for this.
He gave away his 3rd round pick last year too.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was our compensatory draft that we gave away this year to move up. But still, I mean, a lot of these guys are fill-ins. You got to remember, this draft wasn't the greatest draft in the world for players. As far as skill wise. So, you know, giving up draft picks was no big deal for Brad, I don't think. I think JMO, if he does have a good season next year and he does what he, extrapolates what he did last year, shoot, dude, they ain't gonna have no choice but to pay him. Yeah. He's not gonna get, but another thing is he's not gonna, everybody thinks he's gonna get, 25. He ain't gonna get 25 million. That ain't happening. He's gonna get anywhere from like 18 to 23 at the most.
Let me ask you a question about JMO. Do you ever see a situation where JMO eclipses St. Brown?
It's possible. You know something? It's possible, and I know a lot of people hate to hear it, but one thing about Jameson Williams that my biggest knock on him is that he has to get his head together. It's never been a talent question because you see it out there. You see the
maturity.
You see what he can do. It has to be him getting his head together. If your head isn't right, you're not going to be able to perform on the field. Now, beginning of his career, a lot of people were like, oh, my God, he's terrible. He drops the ball a lot. What do you think that's going to do to the kid's confidence? And
he got better.
People are upset he's lighting fireworks. People are upset. Literally, he drinks a milkshake and people bashes him. And not St. Brown, but JMO is one of the more dynamic players we have on the team. Him and Jahmyr Gibbs are our 2 most explosive players.
His ceiling's a lot higher than St. Brown's. There's no doubt about that.
You got to remember that when he came out of college, he was the best receiver in the draft until he got injured. And, I think J-Mo, if he can ball out this year, he's shown that he can be consistent for the past 3 seasons.
Yeah.
You pay the man,
The reason why I asked this question is because if you pay J-Mo, you're going to pay him wide receiver 1 money. We can all agree on that. He's going to get paid like a wide receiver 1. Now, he's not going to get paid a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson type of money, but he's going to get around.
No,
he'll probably get around 20 million. If
20 million. That's not a number one. That's not a number one signing though. That's you see, Amon St. Brown's got 30 million, or just above 30 million. So that's number one signing right there. What he's getting is going to be on the tail of if he does good and we do the Cincinnati thing and keep tagging him. And then pay him. He's going to make Higgins money.
The tag is probably more than 20 million, isn't it? I think. But what I'm trying to say is that if you're going to pay him near wide receiver 1 money, I don't think he's ever going to eclipse St. Brown, because St. Brown is such a linchpin on this offense, and Goff loves St. Brown. Like Goff and St. Brown are like peas and carrots. Mm-hmm. Like they literally, you can eat them all the time together. Like, and they always are good. Like, that's what St. Brown and Goff are. They are peas and carrots. You're not going to break up that tandem. You're only going to make that tandem even better. So the thing with J-Mo is J-Mo has to take less money to stay on this team, because if he demands any money around St. Brown, I guarantee you Brad's going to be like, dude, we can't afford you, and we'll trade you. Mm. I truly believe that.
It's hard, and it depends, because I mean, at that time when he gets a contract, I would have already expected the salary cap one to go up. Some contracts are already restructured, kind of freeing up some cap, right? I think that you can give him 2 years, maybe 20, 25 per season. I can see it. I don't think that they have to just give him some big long-term contract. Like, he can get like a T. Higgins type deal.
Yeah.
All right. To answer your question there, Brett, to answer your question, Brett, the franchise tag for a wide receiver non-exclusive is $25,693,000. Transitional one is $22,523,000.
Yeah. I think the difference is one of them you get 2 draft picks if you trade or something like that, right? If you trade that person or they try to sign that person, yeah. That's a lot of money. 25 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow, is right.
Woo. Yeah. And we talk about the St. Brown deal. That's a steal right now. Because you look at Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase getting over 40 now. Yeah. Like, that's a steal of a deal. I just don't see J-Mo getting 25 million when St. Brown's getting 30.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a slippery slope, man. It's very hard to even really think about it.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's a win-win for the Lions either way. If he balls out and he wants to stay with the Lions, he's gonna have to make less.
Yeah.
If he doesn't,
And also, you got to think as well. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, the scouts, are going to be doing their homework big time before they give out extensions, because one, if you do trade Jameson Williams,
hey, he's better than your receivers, John Dork.
I wouldn't even pay that dude no attention.
I'm just stating facts, man.
I don't know how you figure. I don't know how you figure he's a one-hit wonder, but that's okay.
They would love to have this guy on their team.
More receiving yards than your team. Make it make sense. But anyway,
it's something we have to kick down the line. Given the fifth-year extension gives us another year with him. Yeah. Hopefully he humbles himself more. He gets more mature, and he still keeps playing well. And then we'll go from there.
And you wanted something. I always looked at it really quick like this. They always wanted a number 2 dynamic receiver, somebody that's fast, somebody that can get open down the field. They're going to have to send somebody to scout a player that resembles J-Mo, right? Like this year, it could have been Matthew Golden out of Texas, really fast guy that can get open down the field. Like, that's something that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, before they give out a contract, they're going to have to really take that into consideration.
But unless you
with somebody that is going to be as
productive. The thing I'll say, Jay, is when you have an elite receiver, those are hard to replace. Like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, St. Brown. Those are hard dudes to replace because they do so much for your team and they're so good. J-Mo can be replaced because you just mentioned Golden. Golden had 4.2 speed too, and probably a better head on his shoulders than J-Mo does coming into the league because he might be a little bit older. You know what I'm saying? Like you can find talent later on in this draft with receivers, but when you get a St. Brown that just outplays everything that you put in front of him, those are guys you can't. Hey, how you doing? Those are guys that you can't replace. And that's what I'm saying with St. Brown. St. Brown's irreplaceable. He does so much for this team, like that people don't even know about. Like J-Mo's flashy and good, but he's not St. Brown. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like St. Brown is more of a complete receiver because he can block,
absolutely.
Catch. Yeah. He has a long catch radius. He
has the highest third down catch rate in the NFL last year.
He makes plays when plays need to be made.
Yes, sir.
See, J-Mo hasn't got to that point yet. So, I mean, J-Mo does the same thing. He blocks. He catches. I think that's another thing about J-Mo. He hasn't really lived up to his biggest potential, which is, like, if you ever seen him catch the ball on deep throws, it's always like he's a step. I'm not sure if him and Goff don't have the timing together yet.
Still working.
J-Mo is underestimating the throw or what's going on because when he catches the ball, you ever see him double grip the ball when he catches it? Yeah. And he's got to clean that up. You got to catch it and be sure of it. And because he's dropped a couple of those that he could have caught.
Yeah, those are reps that he needs to continue with Goff. I mean, the one against the Bears, that was beautiful. The catch, the stride, everything. But the thing with J-Mo is you have to hit him in stride. You cannot let him slow down. Goff has got to put that right on the money and hit him in stride because J-Mo is not going to stop when he's that fast and try to catch the ball. That he's not a tracker of the ball. So you got to hit him in stride.
That's the word I'm looking for. Tracker. He has to track the ball a lot better.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
He got to be able to high point the ball. And that's one thing as a receiver like J-Mo's caliber with his size, he should be able to high point the ball as well. That's something that's very important. You can't just always be like, okay, put it in the bread basket. You got to be able to locate it, high point it, come down with it, even when you're contested by 2 or 3. Because let's be honest, there's no DBs that is keeping up with Jameson Williams. They just can't. When they hike the ball, they're already running backwards because J-Mo's just flying past them. I mean,
exactly. Fuck the Bears.
Man. Yeah, fuck the Bears.
Where'd that come from, Brent? You should have been saying that to John Dorn, but he's a Packers fan.
Dork, not Dorn. Don't call him his last name. It's Dork.
Dorky.
The Dork. Yeah, it is outrageous. There's no doubt. Yeah. All right, let's get into Jay's session here. Let's time to cook.
Let's get it.
You had a little break, so it's time to cook.
Yeah. So with this, really, the most interesting draft picks that I think the Lions made, I just picked the top 3. I mean, we really pretty much know they picked up 2 offensive linemen. They're going to come in and make a contribute like right away. So I hope everybody enjoy it. Here are my top 3 draft picks I think the Lions made.
Let's watch the beautiful bean footage. Roll it.
Let's get it. Hey.
Head's already cooking.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Jay here. I'm here to break down the top 3 draft picks I think the Lions did very well on. At number 1, I got Tyleik Williams, defensive tackle out of the Ohio State University. Coming in at 6'3", 330 pounds, I think he'd be a great addition to our defensive line, especially with Aleem McNeil possibly missing the season opener at the beginning of the season. Look at how he play. Look at how he just penetrates the backfield and gets to his assignment, get to his target, and get a tackle for a loss. Those are really big deals right there. He was very effective at stopping the run and getting to the quarterback. He finished his career at Ohio State with 56 solo tackles, 80 assists, 136 combined total tackles, 28 tackles for a loss, and 11.5 sacks. At number 2, I got the hometown kid, Isaac Tesla, out of Arkansas. He's a big body receiver, 6'4", 214 pounds. If you look here, he scored a 9.93 RAS out of a possible 10. This ranked 29 out of 3,816 receivers. If you see him, he can get open. He can really catch the ball at a long distance, long catch radius. And he can be pretty fast. He can be pretty shifty, right? Look at him again. Look at how he runs his routes. He's a good route runner. The Lions moved up 32 spots to get him. I think Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell see something in this kid that they really like, and they can use him in a very important way. I think he fits great with the Detroit Lions. At number 3, Ahmed Hussein, defensive end out of Boise State. Now, this is interesting here because he's a project. Would you believe that he just started playing football 5 years ago? In just 2 years, he recorded 22 sacks. That's insane. In the 2023 season, he has 17 tackles for a loss, and he had 12 and a half sacks. In the 2024 season, he has 16 tackles for a loss and 9 and a half sacks. You know Brad Holmes is notorious for finding late round gems. Let me know what y'all think about these top 3 draft picks. Peace.
Great job, man. Good analysis. I
Appreciate
thought I
it.
was listening to Daniel Jeremiah there for a minute. I closed my eyes. All right. I'm gonna add a little bit on to we're gonna talk about the first pick. I'm gonna add on to because I'm on NFL.com and I got some of his stats from the draft profile. So Mr. Williams, 6'3", 334 pounds, arm is 32 inches, hand 10 1/4. That's pretty big hands. Prospect grade was 6.35. Basically, he falls under, will be an eventual starter. Okay.
Detroit fan man just called Tesla Vanillatron.
Oh my God. I like that. That could stick. Production score was an 80 overall. He ranked 3rd in defensive tackles.
Nice.
Athleticism score, he was 10th in defensive tackles, 77. Total composite score, he was an 80. That was 3rd in defensive tackles overall. Honorable mentions as far as awards: 2023, third team All Big Ten. 2024, 3rd team All Big Ten. Started 13 games. He had 46 tackles, 8 TFLs, 2.5 sacks. Missed 3 games due to injury, so he could have had even better. So that's pretty good for only missing 3 games. Games.
Not to mention he's a national champion.
Right, exactly. Lance Zierlein, the guy who wrote this, his comparison is Aleem McNeil. Surprise. So just some of his strengths: girthy lower body with big meaty hands is what he said. Explosive and violent. Punch and release moves, leave blocker falling forward. Definitely saw that in some of your video there. Weaknesses: pops up tall, loses pad level. Shorter arms allow blockers to crowd his frame. Needs better handwork to neutralize opponents' pass punch. All right, so we'll start with you, Jay. Tell me what you think about this dude, and where do you think he fits in the 2025 Lions roster? Go.
Yeah, so, I think this dude is going to contribute in a massive way. And I think the reason why the Lions drafted him is because they see a lot of Aleem McNeil in him. Somebody that can be – he's not undersized by any means. But
What's up,
somebody
Sonia?
that is –
Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing, Sonia?
I'm well. How are y'all?
Good. But
Sorry I'm late. Just came from a tailgate.
You're good.
Nice.
Go ahead, Jay.
But I think that he's somebody that as soon as he just get his reps in, he's going to be somebody that's going to come in and instantly make an impact. And he has leaders around him. He has vets. You got DJ Reader to coach him up, and you got McNeil and the defensive line coach,
Casey Rogers.
Those 3 are going to be a really big. They're going to aid in his development, and I think that I like the pick. I'm not really sure why a lot of people were upset with that pick. I mean, do we not know that we have Broderick Martin still not Broderick Martin, but DJ Reader on a 1-year deal still? I mean, he has 1 year left.
And he's 31 years old. Yeah.
You got Guy Roy from Arizona, and then Aleem McNeil is
Roy Lopez, man. Nobody get that guy's name right.
Roy Lopez. I'm not really just too familiar with him, but
it's not Brandon Roy, but it's Roy Lopez.
And Aleem McNeil is going to be out. So that's somebody that they're going to expect to start.
Yeah.
When you get picked in the first round by the Detroit Lions, they're not going to sit you. They want you to come in and make a start right away. That's why they go best player available. Mm-hmm. And I think he's going to fit in. He's going to fit right in. I think he's going to be a major contributor to that defense.
Appreciate that, man. What you got, B? I know you've been thinking about this, so let's hear it.
This is Ty League, right?
Yeah, Williams. Yeah.
Leak.
Yeah. So I like Ty League. I mean, it wasn't It wasn't my ideal draft, but then after sitting here thinking about it and then listening to Brad's draft presser afterwards, and he was trying to get a defensive end in a high pick and trying to get another defensive tackle in a high pick, and he couldn't do it. And Tyreek was probably his third or fourth or fifth person on the board. So I mean, he got one of the best tight defensive tackles that were available. I think he might have been like second or third on the defensive tackle roster. But he was. Yeah, that's a good pick. I can see him being in there. I mean, being along with Aleem Neal, I know you made the point about DJ Reader being, he's going to be long in tooth pretty soon, probably out of the league or retired pretty soon. Do we want two Aleem McNeils on the line, though? I mean, we got to. That's the only thing.
I think when Aleem is healthy, this guy is going to be more the run stuffer. Because his pass rushing skills are not really that refined, and he's a bigger dude, so he's going to be a space eater. But he has some twitch to him, which can get to the quarterback.
And let's also not forget that he draws double teams. Like, that guy is a double team like machine. Like, they're getting their center and guard straight to him. They don't care about anything else. They want to stop that guy, and he can get to the quarterback. I mean, he can really get to the quarterback. That's not his main job, obviously, but he can get there. I'm not even going to doubt his pass rushing skills.
Let me ask you all this question. Starting game one, who starts at opposite of Reader, Levi or Williams?
Oh, I think whoever does well in training camp. I think it's an open audition.
That's a political answer.
I mean,
somebody.
I would say until he proves himself otherwise, it's going to be Levi starting.
Yeah, and Levi's more of the 3 tech. So having Reader and Williams in there, you don't really have a lot of pass rushing ability. So Levi makes more sense to have in there because he can rush the passer. His pressure rate was really good last year. That's why they brought him back, because he was effective. And also, too, when it comes to this pick, listen, we're all chasing the Eagles. We know that, okay? As much as I hate to admit it, we are chasing the Eagles. And you better have some beef inside if you want to stop Saquon, because you got to push that guy outside rather than inside. He dominates inside all the time. And I think this Williams guy is a step in the right direction to do that.
No, I don't know about that. I think DJ Reader is going to be staying.
That would be hard to cut him. The only reason they would cut him is if he really dominates in the early parts of camp. But
I don't even see that. I don't even see that. I think they need DJ Reader in this particular instance. Glasgow, that's kind of a hard one too.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that talk in the guards. But yeah, definitely it's a possibility. All right, real quick, Sonia came in. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Looking all lavish with your glasses on. You got the little swoop right there. Yeah.
Jay, thank you. You always compliment my glasses. Thank you so much.
I see you, Sonia. Okay.
I said they look waspy, man. That's a compliment.
Yes, waspy is. I'm ready to sting somebody.
Uh-oh.
In a good way.
Unless it's a buzzard fan.
Oh, right. We don't like buzzards. All right. Do you want to chime in on anything on this, or do you want to just what you got?
Sure. No, I think you guys did really good in the draft. Of course, I'm definitely ready to discuss my draft and what it looks like in a grade. I know that Detroit, I kept asking you guys, what do you need? What would you guys need? Because in my mind, I just thought you all were the complete package. And that's not because I know you guys. I literally just have always said that, since last season started. Just seem to be a very complete team on both sides of the ball. But, of course, there's always that one small opening. And so it's kind of like a crack in your window. It starts out really small. Nobody really notices it, but eventually it spreads. So you have to kind of go ahead and get that repaired while you have it. And I think that's what Detroit did in the draft. I think, by focusing on the picks that you guys got, I think that you went ahead and sealed up whatever leaks that are beginning to start. And I think what's really important is, I know it's kind of a back and forth amongst Lion fans about Jared Goff and his actual being the quarterback. I'm kind of surprised that you guys didn't at least draft a quarterback a little bit earlier on. I think you guys got somebody in round 2, right? Did y'all grab a quarterback in
No,
round
we
2?
didn't take
Nope.
a quarterback in the
Nope,
draft.
no
Wrong
quarterback.
No
team.
quarterbacks.
My
No
bad.
reason to take one.
Yeah.
So no reason.
You know,
to
I know
take
some
one.
Lions fan might have wanted Shador. Some quietly wanted Shador.
No, I don't.
No
I
Lions.
wouldn't say Shador. I wouldn't say that. I think that he comes with his own acclamation. I think maybe not if you guys got somebody in the draft, but maybe if you got somebody in free agency, because I just think I've seen kind of a seesaw event with Jared Goff. And I just thought, I got my hopes up really high, not necessarily in the playoff game, but I'm saying even last season, some of his performance issues. I just think you guys need to at least try to get another veteran quarterback in, or maybe somebody like a Joe Flacco who's gone from the league. I mean, he's not available now, but he's gone completely from the league, and you guys could just get him back really cheap for some filling with the gaps.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna have Jared Goff till his contract is pretty much.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean,
They're going to restructure his contract.
Yeah, they're gonna
that's going to tie us to him for another 3 years after that.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, it depends on how he plays in the next 2 years on his contract. He's got that option for the third. Remember, he's got a 3-year contract.
Right.
He's got an option for the third. So if he does, I really think what the Lions are going to do, they're going to make business decisions, and that's what all the NFL is about. So once they get to that point, and if Goff is still playing at a high rate, by the time his second year comes out, they'll definitely extend him for another year. But they're going to do like they're doing J-Mo and Aiden right now. They're just going to extend him for their next year. So, I mean, we're sooner or later we're going to have to get a quarterback. I don't think Hooker's the answer right now because he's really late. He's old too. He's almost as old as
he's almost
Goff is.
Dude is like what,
27 this year. Yeah,
like 27.
I mean, I will say it's kind of like what I said when I started speaking. You guys were super talented on both sides of the ball. And I did see that you guys did actually have a very balanced draft. I will say that because you got drafts on both sides. Some teams we looked at in the draft, they kind of were more offensive minded or more defensive minded. And you could see that based on their draft picks. But by you guys selecting Williams and Ratledge within the first 2 picks, Williams is always seen as very strong and agile. He's a defensive tackle with very significant upside. So getting him, and then with Ratledge being a physically type imposing offensive lineman, in my opinion, he would probably be able to compete for that starting guard position immediately.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to stop you right there because you gave the perfect segue to Mr. Tate Ratledge. So Tate Ratledge out of Georgia, Mr. Georgia. I swear I saw a meme that said this guy looks like Ron Jeremy. I can't see it now.
Out of Sonia's home state.
Lord.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So he's it's my home by default. My second home, of course, Carolina. It's my main home. But Ratledge is out of Georgia, offensive lineman. You guys took him at number 57 in the second round.
Good pickup. Mm-hmm. Good pickup.
Yeah. The mullet is back in Detroit, y'all. The mullet is back. It is alive and kicking.
Got a question there. Got a question real quick for you, Sonia. There, Detroit fan man asked you, where would you put Goff on the league QB list? Top third?
The top 3, I guess.
I saw that question. I was kind of pondering it. I definitely would put him in top third. I mean, he's definitely elite. Let's be clear. I'm not taking anything away from him.
Is that top 3? Are we talking, or what's top third?
I think
top
it's
third
out of 32 teams.
It's like maybe like 5th, so top 5, top 6, somewhere around there.
So if you're looking at it mathematically, just say you round off that we had 33 teams. You're talking about the first 10 players, right?
So is he top 10? Is he a top 10 quarterback? Let's just say
I would think
because the top third throws me off.
I would think so. Yeah, I would certainly
put a number on it, Sonia. What between what top 10? How where in the top 10?
Be careful with your answer. We are
maybe a 7 or an 8. Between 6 and 8, I'll say that.
Who do you have ahead of him?
God, that's so hard because that's playing currently in the league. You mean?
Okay, I'll roll off some names.
Yeah.
So Patrick Mahomes, of course.
All right.
I mean,
Jackson.
even though his numbers, let's not look at wins, losses, and Super Bowls. Let's look at stats per quarterback. Unfortunately, you have some quarterbacks who are not winning quarterbacks who have just as good numbers. And so you look at like Justin Herbert, you look at Trevor Lawrence, you look at, of course, Jalen Hurts, even Bryce
Goff's better than
Ford.
all those quarterbacks you just named, except for
Ant-Man is down.
Oh,
he's back up.
So you're saying Goff is better than them? What about Allen? Josh Allen, Lamar
no,
Jackson.
he's not better than
Allen
Allen.
for sure. 100%.
Okay, so then there you go. So let's put him. I said number 6. I'll move him up to a 4 or 5. How about that?
Yeah, that's where I have him. Yeah,
I have him at like 6, maybe. You know, I can see him.
That's fair. 4 or 5 is fair.
He's the best quarterback in the NFC. But all the other good quarterbacks are in the
now
AFC.
that part we can
Yeah, the AFC is very top heavy. Like they got Burrow, Jackson, Allen, Mahomes, Herbert. You know.
But yet,
get the Burrow
since 2019, he has the most yards in the NFL,
only
second to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
I just want to put that in there.
And also too, the thing about Goff is Goff from even being from California, Goff's such a laid back dude, man. He doesn't have like a big social following. He doesn't have like the excitement behind his name. I mean, he's got a hot ass wife, that's for sure. I'll give him that. He's got a really beautiful wife.
People like to it's a negative.
That don't count and plan though. Jeez.
I'm just saying, he's got the hottest wife I've seen.
Think about this. It's a negative stigma that follows Jared Goff. 1, because he came to Detroit. And 2, he got sold off by the Rams. They thought that he was just the most horrible thing.
And he's boring and ho-hum. There's nothing crazy about him.
We're going to send him to one of the worst franchises at the time. And hopefully he don't make a resurgence. But it's always like a negative stigma on him. But Jared Goff is playing at a very high level. He finished top 4 in the MVP race. And his numbers don't lie. Yeah, he had a bit of a turnover problem. But he really came second in it. He had a perfect game. 18 for 18. Anybody remember that?
Yeah.
Seattle?
I'm going to give you the comparison with Jared Goff because y'all are Piston fans. He's Cade Cunningham. Cunningham's No, hold up. Stop. Cade Cunningham is a great player, but off the court, you wouldn't know who Cade Cunningham is. He's just about business. He stands on business. That's what Jared Goff does. Nobody knows who Jared Goff is. We had to make Jared Goff popular with a Jared Goff chance. Like, he's just about his business, man. He comes in, he just does his job, and he goes home. He doesn't go out to the bars. He doesn't do any of these antics. He doesn't get on TikTok. He's not on TV and commercials. He just stands on business. Cade Cunningham's the same way.
He's on some commercials. He is on some commercials. But
the
point is, you still can't compare. You still can't compare him to Cade because, first of all, ain't nobody out there in Arizona chanting Cade Cunningham.
Right, but what I'm saying,
his is universal.
You know who
y'all are missing what I'm saying. I'm saying that he's Cade Cunningham by the demeanor of who he is.
You know what his comp is?
I still wouldn't say that.
His comp is Carl Anthony Towns. Remember, Minnesota gave up on him. They gave up on him. They said,
well, yeah, but he's not the personality of Cat.
Right?
I guess.
We're going to send him over to New York and look at how.
All right.
That's true.
We can go this all day. Let's move on to the next pick. So Tate. So I'm going to get some stats on Tate Rutledge real quick. 6'6", 308, 32 arms length, 10 hands. Prospect grade is 6.28. Eventually will be a starter is what the projection is on him. Projection score 76. He ranked 5th in guards overall.
Nice.
Athleticism score 98. First in guards. So he's very athletic, and I saw that in the tape. Total score, he was an 84, second in guards. Dude, we got this guy in this. That's crazy.
That there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, and if he won a Super Bowl, I think that would definitely have elevated his status, no doubt. Let's see. He ran a 4.97 in the 40. Some of the accolades: 2023 second team All-American, 13 games started at right guard. 2024 third team All-American, first team All SEC. I'm telling you right now, if you're All SEC, you're damn good. Okay, because SEC is a pro league. 79 players, y'all, got drafted by the SEC this year.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
That is insane.
I want to give a stat really quick too. In 2024.
Okay.
Oh yeah, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
I just want to wrap these up and then I'll let you go.
Yeah.
So first team SC played 10 of 9 games at right guard, so he's basically a right guard mostly. Sounds like what he is. He had a little bit of an injury. Lance Zierlein has him. Didn't have a comparison for him. Strengths, good firmness and contact on double teams. Runs feet, closes distances as drives the blocker. Big hands, strong core help to sustain block. Some of the weaknesses, pad level, that can be changed. You can work on that. Struggles to react to slants and stunts and times. That's something you'll have to adjust to. And starts brawling and hand placement gets away from him. Okay. Go ahead, Jay.
Nice. This still sounds good to me, but in 2024, he earned a 74.4 overall grade, and he played 10 games, 500 offensive snaps. 189 of those offensive snaps were run blocks. 311 of them were pass blocks. He gave up only 1 sack in 2024, 2 quarterback hits, and 4 hurries. I think that's pretty good. That's somebody that definitely can fit in on our offensive line, and Hank Fraley can definitely coach.
Oh yeah, Hank will
really
get his hands on him for sure. Absolutely,
really
Hank.
Well. Go ahead, B.
Good old,
Get in there.
good old Hank. No, I'm just saying, good old Hank.
Oh, okay.
Hank Fraley can do it.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah,
good offensive line coach.
Give me your thoughts on him, B.
I mean, I think he's actually the replacement for Graham Glasgow. He can fit right in there. If Graham I think right now they're on the patience, they're level with the patience of Graham right now. The only reason why he's starting because the offensive line is gelled, and with him being, if he starts giving up a lot of sacks or he starts giving up, he can't run block well, or he's starting to fade. I hate to say that about our University of Michigan product, but yeah, he might have to get replaced. He might have to get replaced.
Stars fade, man. Not for long. That's what the NFL stands for.
Get replaced by the Georgia guy because, I think that's the replacement.
How old is he? 34, 35?
33, I think, something like
Around
that.
33, yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Yeah. Do you see a situation where, because I agree with B saying, do you see a situation where this Tate starts over Graham and they keep Graham as the backup to Frank in case something happens?
Could be possible. That could be possible, yeah.
It's a possibility. And the only reason why I'm not going to just commit to that right now is because they are very fair. If you show them that you still got it, you're going to get the playing time, especially with the experience he brings. Mm-hmm. And but if that rookie goes out there and he performs in training camp, he's going to get the minutes. They want the best people on the field, no matter what your name is. If you give them the best chance to win, they're going to make sure you play. That's why I just can't commit to it right away. It's a possibility, but I just have to see how. I
think he has the most potential to be a starter day one because of the fact that he played in the SEC. He's played against elite competition that they're gonna play in the NFL. He's held his own. He's also been all SEC team too. And if you watch his tape, the guy can move laterally. He can get to the next level. He can protect. Mm-hmm. Like we don't see that in Graham as much anymore. And to be fair, Graham is getting older. He's a little bit long in the tooth. But the thing is that this Tate guy has got a really mean streak to him too.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
All right, we're gonna move on to Mr. S. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Sonia.
I was gonna tell back in the third round, you guys, when y'all got Tesla.
I call him Tesla. I don't care.
He's got a good size and he's known for his speed as well. This is bolstering you guys' offensive line, honestly, because with getting Frazier as well later in the rounds, you're basically putting an edge rusher in Haseen, who's got a compelling backstory, and then the 2 players from Georgia and Jackson and Lovett. Those contribute to your special teams and defense very well. Right. So, I mean, a lot of the pundits out there, when they were grading each grade, that's where I'm getting my information from. I was reading the overviews of all the teams. I remember them saying basically that they were questioning you guys trading up for Tesla in the third round. But if you're thinking about it overall, you guys get like a solid B because you're addressing, like I said in the beginning, your needs for potential playmakers on your roster on both sides of the ball. And by adding offensive weapons, it's basically suggesting that you guys are building a very well-rounded and competitive team like that can go even further than what we've seen in last year's playoffs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, And as far as the picks, like let's just cut to the chase and let's just get this out of the way. So the two picks there were three third round picks that we got traded for Tesla.
Yep.
Two of them were compensatory. One next year, one this year. I'm not too worried about that. Those are the bottom of the draft all the time. Bottom of the first round or the round, anyways. The third round pick, that was the big one. You traded a third round pick next year to get him.
That was,
Other two were
32 spots, and it was 32 spots.
Right, but you only gave up one true third round pick to get him because the other two were compensatory picks, which, I mean, like I said, they're at the bottom of the round.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. And you know something, I didn't hate it at all because it's like we don't have a lot of positions to fill. Was it Brad Holmes or was it Dan Campbell when they were giving their analogy of him? They said they saw him at the Senior Bowl and him blocking and running routes and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was killing cornerbacks.
Yeah,
that was the exact words.
He said they had him frustrated. He had him frustrated out there, you know, temper tantrums and all.
Right.
And I'm like, you know, that's the type of guy that Brad Holmes and them want.
Yeah.
Somebody that's going to get under your skin and just play. You know, and I liked it. I don't mind him moving up to get him because if he can play and Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes can use him in the right way, I know they will.
And the thing is, like, Brad's getting to the point, and I keep telling Lions fans this, man. He's starting to say fuck them picks, man. Like, outside of the one or twos, the thirds don't matter to him anymore because the reality is, going forward, you're only looking for a couple of starters going forward to start on your roster because, like Sonia was saying, our roster is so complete. Like, we have no really big holes and necessary huge needs. And Brad addressed a lot of the needs this year and next year with some of these picks. So, you know, like, he's just – the guy sees in the future and just doesn't care what people say, well, what the need is right now. He's like, dude, I'm looking 3 or 4 years down the line. He's like a financial advisor. Financial advisors.
I don't think there's any team in the league, not even the Super Bowl champions, that can say that we have a complete roster. You know, you will never have a complete team. You know, you will always have a need for something, and you can get by.
It's not a glaring need. What I'm trying to say.
Glaring need. You know, and he literally, except for one position, I feel like he literally addressed everything that he possibly could. And, you know, that's what I was saying through text messages, Nate. Like, you know, just one position that, you know, a lot of people felt like he should have went. But overall, it's still a good grade. I think he had a really good draft.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we're going to move on. I'm going to give some Tesla stats here. So 6'4", 214, 31-inch arms, 10 hands. 6.13 is his projection. Good backup with potential to develop into a starter. I agree with that. And just the way the roster is constructed, he's going to have to earn his way on there because we have a lot of guys that are already ahead of him right now, which is fine. Production score was 53. He ranked 48th in receivers. Athleticism score was a 96, number 1 in receivers. Think about all the receivers that went ahead of him. He was number 1 in athleticism. That's impressive. Total score was a 70, 28th in receivers rank, okay? Ran a 4.43 in the 40. Let's see here. Vertical jump of almost 40 inches. And he's a 6'4" guy. Like, he's already tall. 2023 started all 12 games. 2024, 13 games, 5 starts. Let's see. Strengths, creates. Hold up, y'all. Someone's trying to call me. Creates big mismatch problems from the slot, play strength to sink in zone and catch through contact. Tracks and attacks is what we're talking about with JMO. Tracks and attacks the high point downfield. So he's a high point catcher. That's good. Weakness. Production is fairly lackluster in 2 seasons. I'm going to explain that in a sec. Crowded and slowed on by early routes and redirection. Sluggish acceleration kick and after slowing his feet. Okay, real quick. The production, listen, dude. If you can name me Arkansas starting quarterback, even you, Sonia, I'll cash up you $20 right now.
I don't know it.
That's my point. The quarterbacks in Arkansas were ass. They're terrible. They're probably worse than the quarterbacks we had this year. So
you can cash out me just participation cash.
Yeah, no, that was the deal. But anyways, so the fact is that he had no quarterbacks around him. He had no quarterbacks around him, and he was decent. But if he had a better quarterback or he played for a better quarterback, he probably would put up better stats. So that's my only argument with him. So I'll open on the floor. Whoever wants to talk about him, go.
So, but still raises questions because he's never topped 120 yards in a game despite his physical advantages over SEC defenders. He also struggles to disengage from physical corners who get their hands on him in an early release and needs counter moves at the line. Mm-hmm. That's very important in the NFL because every corner they face is physical at the line. Mm-hmm. The majority of them, I'd say 90% of the corners are physical on the line.
And that's something you can coach them on, because if you use your hands better and try to shed the blocker, you can get open. But yeah, if you don't know how to do that, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a work in progress.
Mm-hmm. And then his initial acceleration lacks explosiveness, takes several steps to reach top gear, and I saw that in a couple of the highlights. It did take him a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds to reach that acceleration point. So those are things you can't teach speed, so you can't teach acceleration
and
either.
Separation.
So that's going to be
separation.
That's going to be a problem.
Separation for real.
These are the things that you have to be a quality in the NFL. You got to get separation. And if you remember a while back when we had Stafford as quarterback, that was a detriment to him because we had receivers out there that weren't getting separation.
Yep.
So he got a lot of turnovers from that because he's trying to force the ball in there because nobody wants
to hold on
to
the ball too long.
Yeah, because nobody's making the right cut. Mm-hmm. So it's just, those things got to be looked at. Those are serious problems with him. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that he can't overcome that. But when you have those two things right there, the physical corner thing and being able to run your route where you can break away from the corner, even if it's like a couple parsecs away from him, those are important in NFL. Well, if he can't go over that step, then he might be in trouble.
What would you guys think that if they only used him in situations of like being in the red zone, right, and he can kind of be that big body guy, throw the ball up and hopefully he can come down with it, even with the defender rejected around his back.
His name is Tim Patrick right now.
He has a big frame. Exactly. Tim Patrick. Because we know he's not going to be number 1 or 2 receiver. I don't think he's going to be on like a 1st and 10, 50-yard line kind of situation. What if they use him just like in an end zone kind of like big body?
It's possible. Listen, when we got this pick, this is what I said in my head. This is Tim Patrick's replacement. Mm-hmm. Okay. If Tim Patrick goes down, this is the guy you're going to slot into this position because he can play the X receiver too. He's a big body, 6'4" guy. He's 4.3 speed. I mean, even if he just goes straight line, he's going to get open. Like
that's what I was about to ask about the turns. How is he with these turns and separation?
I think his route tree is still improving because if you watched Arkansas doesn't. They only throw go routes most of the time, and they like to run the football a lot. They're not a pass-happy offense, because the quarterback can't throw. That's why they run more RPOs than anything, or they run like running backs most of the time. But he's a go route receiver. But the thing is that Patrick's already there, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. I like Patrick, and I want to keep Patrick. But Patrick's also almost 30 himself. So Brad did this saying, you know what? Hey, Patrick, if something happens to you or if we decide to move off from you next year because you only got a 2-year deal or a 1-year deal, you got your replacement right there.
This is going to be the guy right here.
Yeah. And the big thing about that, too, as far as the draft staff, he was projected as a 7th-round pick. So I think in that particular mode, I think the Lions reached in that one. So we'll see if Brad Holmes came up with a gem because, as much as we allowed Brad Holmes, doesn't mean every pick he's going to have in the draft is great. So we'll see if spending those draft picks and getting him at 3rd is going to produce.
Yeah, I don't know who said he's a 7th-round pick. There's not. I disagree with that, but everybody's got their opinions. I mean, I think he's around a 3rd or 4th. Because like 7th round. Oh.
Well, no matter where he's picked, his ability should be something that the Lions can benefit from. And
it's a wait-and-see approach because we don't have to use him right now.
Like if we were to redo a lot of these drafts, people that we got in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round will be taken in the 1st round. Look at Aleem McNeil. Look at Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kirby Joseph. Those are 3 first-round picks right there if they were to go in today's draft. So it's about how you can use the player. It's about how you can let them. It can be friendly to their gameplay, and I think if he's Tim Patrick's replacement, he don't have to get 10 targets every game. He may get 2. He may get 3 in big critical situations.
And to get to the Tim Patrick thing, yeah, he turns 32, but he really isn't 32 in football years because he didn't play like 2 years.
Right.
So he's got a lot more football left in his frame.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, his body's not in that telltale age at that, is playing at the age that he is because he's like missed 2 years. So let's put that in perspective as well.
And I was also envisioning this in my head too, like, if we re-sign J-Mo later on down the line, there's a situation where I see with Amon-Ra St. Brown on one, J-Mo on the other side, and you could probably put Tesla in the middle with Laporta on the other side too. That's a tall lineup. You know what I'm saying? Because J-Mo's not that short either. Amon-Ra's 6 foot, but the guy can get up and he plays bigger than his size.
And that's
Tesla.
And that's assuming that Tesla will be living up to the standard and he'd stay healthy and he'd be the guy that they want to move forward.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's any NFL player. But I'm just saying, I'm envisioning that in my head at some point. I'm sure Brad was too. I could see J-Mo, I could see Brown, I could see Tesla as my third receiver, and then Laporta as my tight end. And good luck trying to cover all those dudes. Okay. I mean, that's fair. All right. Do you have anything else to say, Sonia, before we move on to the next one?
Not about that particular person.
All right.
Thanks.
So we're going to move on to Miles Frazier out of LSU, another guard. A lot of Lions fans are ready to choke Brad Holmes on this one because another guard. Here we go. Mr. Frazier, 6'6", 317, arm length 32 inches, hand is 9, so he actually has a smaller hand, I guess. Good thing he's not center. Prospect grades. Prospect grades 6.18. Good backup with potential to develop into starter. Yeah, I kind of figured that. All right. Production score 67 overall, 11th in guard. Athleticism score 74, 11th in guard. Total composite score 71, 12th in guards. Let's see. Accolades. Started 13 games as right guard, so another right guard. So somebody's gonna have to move to left guard at some point. I don't think you're gonna have to.
Mahogany, got Christian Mahogany.
Well, I'm gonna ask you about the question on that one too. 2024 started 13 games, 12 at right guard, 1 at right tackle. He played the bowl game, so he's got some versatility. I don't know how he played in that game, but he was a tackle. Okay, you're gonna love this comparison. Jonah Jackson. Now Jonah played well. Jonah played well with Detroit for a minute. Yeah. But his problem was pass protection. This guy's a better pass protector than Jonah Jackson is. I'll tell you that right now.
Injuries.
If you watch his tape.
And injuries.
Yeah, he's had some injuries. Strength. NFL frame with proportional thickness and length. Brings jolting knockback pop from upper body into first contact. Runs his feet and clears the gap as drives blocker. So he's a mauler. He likes to maul. He's a nasty guy. Weakness. Possesses very small hands for an offensive lineman. Gets off the ball with elevated pads. A lot of this is all pad level, y'all. This is college. College pad level is not NFL pad level. That can be coached up with your offensive line coaches. So Hank will do that. He'll be fine. Labors laterally and struggles getting to reach or cut off blocks on stretch play. This one I was interested in because you watch some of the video, he did pretty good on stretches. Yeah. But I guess he's not like fast at doing it, I guess what they're saying.
Mm-hmm. He has a 9-inch broad jump and 31-inch vertical. He ran 5.24 in the 40-yard dash. And he does 27 bench press reps. I mean, he did 2 years at Florida International, started 39 games for the Tigers, played 28 at right guard, like you said, and then left guard. But this is the interesting thing. He allowed only 4 sacks on over 1,500 yards of pass blocking
his whole career.
LSU. Yes, and none of those which came from this past season. He did play a total of 3,283 career snaps with more than 2,500 at LSU, and he was a starter for that team for 3 years. So he's definitely at 6'6", 317 pounds. Definitely experienced as a good O lineman.
One thing I can say about these guards,
And also, he only gave up one quarterback hit and two in his career at LSU. And he kind of struggled with the hurry since he gave up 12. Now, that's kind of a big number when you're considering, especially if it's a pass protection kind of play. Right. I mean, that's something that can be coached up. And, he don't have to come in and be the starter right away. He don't have to be the starter because you still have Christian Mahogany.
Yes, it was. One thing I can definitely say about both of these guards is they're not only good run blockers, but they're also good pass protectors. Mm-hmm. And that's why Brad drafted these guys, because when you can get a guy who can pass block as good as he can run block, now you're cooking.
Yeah, they said he has that what they call a knockback pop, capable of mauling in tight spaces, short pulls, and leads block around the end are solid. Sorry about nasty. That, B.
Go ahead, B.
Well, Frazier is not a significantly good run blocker. He's better at pass protection. One of those weaknesses is it gets, labors to adjust to move when pulling or leading outside, which is a lot of things the Lions do. They pull and doesn't show the same instincts and space he displays in pass protection. So if he's out doing his run blocking is not it's not good. But I mean, if he's run blocking, pushing forward, that's fine because our running backs are good enough to have that vision and they can get around. So we're not really, but if he has to pull, that's going to be a problem.
That's why. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, B.
But on this, an offensive ranked guard, we got the second and the fourth offensive ranked guards in Tate Rutledge and Miles Frazier. So there's not much of a drop off between those two.
Right.
And his draft projection was fourth, and we got him in the fifth. So I think that's a steal.
Sure.
That we got him at. So, I mean, hey, he should be fine. Like I said, I don't think that he's going to be one of those. He might be a backup. He might be one of those change of pace offensive linemen because I've seen a trend in the NFL too, where not only do you have like a two-back formation, you have two backs coming in and spelling each other. You got offensive line doing that now, where offensive line are specific for a play, and they'll come out. It's like kind of like Dan Skipper. He comes in there and spells pretty much somebody on a line every once in a while. But this guy will be in there for special plays. He definitely won't be doing the he won't be going through the pulling plays, but he'll if you're blocking straight ahead, he'll be in those plays. That's what I think he's be good at.
It's kind of funny his comp was Jonah Jackson because Jonah Jackson didn't pull a lot of times when I watched him play. He played more in the phone booth is what they call.
Yeah.
They kind of played like like you said, B, he kind of played going forward. Like you need a guy to push you forward. This is the guy to do it. If you need a guy to pull, Tate is more of the guy. And that's why I think that with Miles is going to probably take a redshirt year like Manu did. And Hank's going to work with him, and possibly next year he'll probably try to fight for that other spot with Mahogany, unless Mahogany just kills it this year. Now here's my question to y'all. If I have a crystal ball right now, I would probably say that Graham Glasgow is going to be one of the starters. As much as we don't like it, it's probably he's going to still be one of the starters because they trust their vets. They trust the guys that have been there. Does Tate or Miles outseat Mahogany, or is it Mahogany's spot to lose?
Oh, that's Mahogany's spot to lose. He earned his keep. Mahogany, he came in and stepped up 2 times last year. Sorry, say that again.
In 2 games.
Yeah, he's earned his keep. He done a good job protecting Jared Goff. They picked up Mahogany for a reason. They love that guy. I think that's Mahogany's job to keep right there for sure. Okay. He showed that he can play in big moments. He came in, he played in the playoffs, right? He came in, he played when they needed him to step up. So that's a guy that they know they can count on for sure. Keep up the good work, showing in training camp. That's
Tate is better at zone blocking, yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Z. B, what's your thoughts?
For
the question I was asking.
Oh, for
any of these guys outseating Mahogany?
No, because I think you're right. I think the Lions are going to like who they have it starting right now. And, like I said, those guys are going to develop. So that's not bad. That's not bad though. I mean, for offensive linemen, you want them to develop. So,
Sure.
yeah, let everybody start that was starting last year.
Dirtbag, yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I think we
Who
call
was the dirtbag?
Mahogany. He calls himself a dirtbag.
Mhm.
I love that. By the way, I love the nastiness of the O line, man. You got to have that for sure.
Yeah.
I told B this, and I think I might have told you this too, Jay, that if Mahogany doesn't get ill in the early part of the year, he probably would have been the starting guard.
Mm.
You know, because they loved Mahogany. Mahogany was like Tate and Miles were this year. Brad got him at a better value than they actually were projected.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I agree.
and so
Totally.
and Mahogany was plug and play too.
Sure was. And what round did he go in?
6th
round out of Boston College. And it's like,
dude, Brad knows his lineman, bro. You can say what you want to say about the D lineman. He knows his own lineman, bro. Like, kudos to that guy.
Sure.
And if you're good at one spot, that's got to be good on the O line. That's for sure. That's your bread and butter.
Absolutely.
All right. Absolutely. Any other thoughts on Miles before we move on? Sonia, anything?
Nope. I already said what I wanted to say about him. Thank you.
She said her.
Zeitler's gone, boss.
Yeah, Zeitler's gone.
Yeah, Zeitler's
on man. Yeah, Mahogany's taking his spot.
So it'll be Mahogany and Glasgow if you're trying to say that. Yeah, the other guys will make the team for sure. Brad's not cutting any of those dudes. Now, I will say this. Sorsdahl, he's probably gone. Yep. Awashika is probably cut. Like, because they're 4 deep now in guards, and I'm happy as hell about that. Because remember when we left the season, Zeigler left us. We were like, oh my God, what's up with the guard situation? We know Graham Glasgow is long in the tooth, and Brad just redid the whole guard in like 2 years. Kudos to him, man.
Yeah, man. That's one thing that the Lions. That's their one of their strengths. As long as you keep
bread and butter, man.
Upright, block for your running backs, block for your quarterback, that Lions offense is gonna be good. They scary dangerous. Still.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get to my guy, and I'm really excited about this guy. Mr. Ahmed Hassanian. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hassanian. Ahmed, hit us up.
Sonia, what you got, Sonia? We're gonna put you to use here.
I think she froze.
She
freeze.
She froze up. Yeah. She's tired of us talking. Look at her face.
Oh. What about now?
All right, give us your thoughts on Mr. Ahmed.
Hassanin is how I pronounce the last name.
Yeah,
Hassanin. Exactly right. That's good. That's right.
I mean, I just got a message telling me I got unstable internet connection. AT&T, you absolutely suck. I never had that problem with AT&T. So you guys got him pick number 196 at the 6th round. That's literally almost the end of the whole draft.
Mm-hmm. Well, we gave her all our picks.
She froze again.
Okay.
Damn internet connection.
All right. When we get her back, I'm going to go over some stats of Mr. Hassan. First off, first Egyptian player ever in the NFL. So shout out, man. Like, I love that. I love that, man. The Lions are the first
black and Egyptian
player. Exactly, yeah. now we're gonna get flagged too. Thanks, B.
Why are we gonna get flagged?
I don't know.
Why are we gonna get flagged? You gonna get flagged, dude?
Oh my God.
Anyways, all right. Let me give you some stats on him. 6'2", 267. Arm is 32 inches. Hand is 9, so he's got small hands too. Prospect grade 5.69. Candidate for bottom of the roster or practice squad. So yeah, it's I don't agree with that, but that's Lance Zierlein, and Lance Zierlein is pretty good. Production score 69, 20th in edge. Athleticism score 71. Rank is 24th in edge. Total composite score is 29th, 66 in edge. He ran a 4.7 in the 40. Vertical jump of 32 inches. Let's see. 2023 first team All Mountain West. Ranked 5th in the FBS with 12.5 sacks. Started all 14 games. 16 TFLs. 2024 first team All Mountain West. Tied for the lead with 15.5 TFLs, led the team with 9.5 sacks. Started all 14 games at 48 tackles. Let's see. No comp on him. Strengths. Racks up 32 tackles for loss, including 22 sacks over the last 2 seasons. Plays each snap. I love this. Plays each snap with ideal motor and passion. Yes. Doesn't quit at all. Plays the first snap like the last snap. Good knockback pop when exploding hands into frame. He's a power guy. Weakness. Tight-hipped, plays with mechanical movements. Okay, so he's not fluid. So he's kind of tight-hipped. Has trouble controlling and discarding into tight ends. So I think that's probably him learning the game a little bit because he only started playing at 2019. So he's still learning the game. But usually tight ends, you can get a tight end off pretty quickly. So get off a tight end. So I think, that's coaching. I think he'll be all right with that. Often attacks the blocker and not the play. So he kind of doesn't anticipate well. He's got to work on that. All right. Let's talk about Mr. Hassan.
Are you ready for me now?
Yeah, go ahead, Sonia.
All right, guys. Thank you. Sorry about the technical difficulty. So he just moved to America in 2018. Like you said, he started playing football in 2019. But it's important to note his stats that he brought from Egypt. He was the first ever Egyptian player. I think that's where I heard you guys say ever selected in the draft. But even over there, he was a competitive CrossFit athlete, ranked number 1 in his age group for the whole country of Egypt and number 14 in freaking Africa, like the whole continent. He's number 14 and he's number 1 for the whole country of Egypt. So he did come and attended school in California. He measures 6'2", 3/8 and weighs 267 pounds at the combine. And he did convert from Islam to Christianity while he was at Boise State. Now, the thing about him is we don't know super a lot because let's be clear, 2019 was just a little bit ago. It's not that long ago. And so kudos to you guys for taking a gamble on him. He did have 2 seasons as a full-time starter in 23 and 24 at Boise State. He recorded 101 tackles, 32 tackles for a loss, and 22 sacks. And he's pretty young. I mean, he's born July of 2002. Sorry. Yep. And he's the first team All Mountain West selection for both seasons that he played in Boise State. The latter ones, 2023 and 2024. And he just comes with a lot of physical agility. I think that's going to be someone that by him coming into the league fresh, that you guys will have an opportunity to solidly mold him. I mean, he definitely comes with a lot of physical talent. And I think that's what you guys need. That could really play out for you guys, both speed-wise and agility. So kudos to the Lions for seeing that and bringing him into the league.
Yeah, the best of the years are ahead to come for him. But who wants to tackle it first?
Man, I like the pick. I mean, obviously, he wasn't on my radar. Just being honest.
A lot of people's radar.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
I liked him. I like one thing that I specifically liked about him is that when he got the call from Brad Holmes, he was like, "Hey, I want to die for this team. I would die for this team. I want to prove myself." That's the type of guys that you want.
That's the passion that you hear from him in his scouting.
Exactly, because no matter what they say, he can be a bottom end practice squad or a roster type guy. He wants to prove himself. When you have something to prove, Amon-Ra St. Brown taken in the 4th round, you have a chip on your shoulder because you know what you're capable of. You're willing to learn. You're willing to go out and make any adjustments you need to be a top end player and to be like one of the best players. Be all you can be, right? And he played 2 seasons and had 20 sacks. I think we covered that. That is insane. I think
the TFL is even more impressive too. He had over 10 TFLs both seasons.
That's letting you know that he can get in the backfield and he can stop the run. Not only is he, still getting to the quarterback, but he's also stopping the running back or whoever it is in the backfield carrying the ball right in their tracks. That's something the Lions need, because if we remember, I don't mean to bring up old wounds, but remember Jaden Daniels? I mean, he just right out of the backfield, unchecked, nobody touching him anything. If we can get somebody that can stop a quarterback or a running back in the backfield, that's huge. That's huge. That's 3,
Go ahead.
4 guys who have on the defensive line that is great at stopping the run.
Go ahead, B.
So the only thing that I see, one of the only things I see is the problem. His best production was in 2023. At 53 total tackles, 30 solo, 2 forced fumbles, 13 sacks. Other than that, he's going to be my guy just because he was born in July 9th. So I was July 1st.
He's a Cancer.
And yeah, he's the first Egyptian player in the league because his parents are his dad is Egyptian.
Yeah.
And he moved to Cairo when he was 6, but he was born in California.
Yeah, he was born in California.
Yeah, Anaheim, California to be exact. And let's go to the player overview because I like to do the weakness stuff. It just really got really the weaknesses. When I look at weakness reports on stuff, the ones that are easily adjusted in the NFL, you can see those. But when I'm looking at here, I mean, yeah, most of this stuff can be adjusted in the NFL.
It's all awareness. It's all awareness, and it's this lack of football that he's played.
I think the thing that bothers me the most about him, though, he's kind of got the Shamar Stewart kind of thing going on. Although he's more productive, he's been more productive, but he plays fast for his own good, running himself out of a play. And see, this is what we gotta. That's got to be adjusted. He's got to learn not to leaving his feet and failing to wrap up. No, we can't. We can't be having missed tackles. That's a bad thing for me.
Let's be real. We have that problem on the Lions already. We even see Aiden do that sometimes, where we get right at the quarterback and we don't sack him, and the quarterback escapes the pocket. So, I mean, I'm not making excuses. You're right, and hopefully he does clean that up, and I think he will. But the thing is that the reality is with this guy is that we don't know what he really could be, because he hasn't played a long time. Like, I kind of compare him to Ziggy Ansah. Ziggy played very young or learned the game at a late part of his life. You know what I'm saying? But he came out and balled out, but injuries hurt him. He would have had a really good career if it wasn't for the injuries. Injuries really caught up with him. I like this guy's motor. Like, 2 things I like about this guy. His motor, because if you got a relentless motor as a defensive end, you're always going to be on the field. Defensive coaches love you if you play your first snap like your last snap. Like Aiden Hutchinson's like that. Aiden Hutchinson has a hell of a motor, never stops. This guy is going to fall in the same lines of him like Aiden. Second of all, he's got strong hands. He's powerful. We need somebody to push the pocket because to make Aiden's job a lot easier. We were hoping that was Davenport. It's not, okay? But, you need a guy that can push the pocket. He's not going to beat you with speed as much, but he's going to beat you more with power. And if you guys see that clip in the Senior Bowl where he did that spin move on that tackle, guys, if he can get that spin move down, that was nice. That was Dwight Freeney kind of esque. Did y'all see that? Where he literally put that spin move on that tackle in the Senior Bowl and just he got right to the quarterback. So if he can perfect that, man, I'm excited for this guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I love his story. One thing about the Lions, and I think they get enough credit for this, is that, you could say, oh, yeah, we draft choir boys, whatever the hell you want to say. I don't agree with none of that narrative. We draft leaders, men, and captains. That's what we draft. And this guy is no different. He was a captain for his team.
You're the only guy that can put hell and
right,
what you call in the same sentence.
But I mean, I'm just tired of people always saying, oh, we draft choir boys. We don't draft choir boys. If a choir boy is a leader, a man, and a captain, then give me all the choir boys on my team. Straight up. Give me all those choir boys. Because you know what? I want leaders going into battle. I don't want losers, and I don't want guys that think that they're leaders. I want actual guys that are going to die for you. And this guy will die for you. I love that. They need to put that on a shirt. So, anyway, sorry. I went a little soapbox there. but I
Figuratively.
hate fire.
Football.
Figuratively.
Not literally lose
Yeah.
your life.
Right.
Anybody
Exactly,
out
yeah.
there that misconstrued
Right. And then put NFL not for long, and then on the back, I will die on this field. Put that shirt down.
Again, not literally.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. So when you're getting down to the bottom of the draft, you can't find profiles of players anymore. So the next guy is Dan Jackson, another Georgia guy. Interesting stat. This was the last guy to go on the defense for the 2021 or Georgia football team or whatever, 2022-21 Georgia football team. All the other players were drafted. That's insane. Yep. Kudos to Georgia on that.
Recruited.
I don't think I even have stats on this guy. Okay,
he was a walk-on. He was a walk-on to the team before he just started starting in games in 2024, and then he started 13 games, recorded about 64 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 5 passes defended, and 2 interceptions on 33 of those targets that was thrown his way in 2024. He didn't surrender a touchdown, and he allowed a passer rating of 56.3, and this is all based on the records from Pro Football Focus. I looked him up on that because I couldn't find anything on him either.
Yeah.
So basically,
there's a deep dive in there to find this.
Yeah,
guy.
he's literally no stranger to hard work. I mean, you talk about being a walk-on and working your way up to a starting position is definitely humble beginnings, and coming from Georgia with such a competitive team. It says a lot that Kirby saw something in him to allow him to be able to be a starter, and he showed and proved. He definitely has an opportunity to make an immediate impact on you guys' special teams.
Yeah, I think that's the key, what you said, special teams. Like this guy Phipp's going to love this guy because he's a hard-nosed player. He's gritty. He's active. Question for y'all. I'll make this real simple with him. Does he make the 53-man roster? Yes or no?
I think they may keep him on just to see what he like, his hard ethic. If he goes in there and folds, because I always say when you're in college, you're playing with other greatness, and you're trying to rise to the top of being the greatest of the great. When you get to the NFL, everybody's already at the top, and you are trying to climb to get to where they are. There's no let me stick out, because it's more like let me just survive to make the team, because everybody here is already proven that they belong here.
Best of the best.
Exactly. Got to earn your keep. So yes, no, what?
If he works really hard, yes, he's no stranger to hard work ethic.
When something, I can't say yes or no, and I know that sounds cliche, but
just give me an answer. Just give me an answer.
I'm going to say yes, because
B shaking his head. He says no.
Got him for a reason, and you need more special team players. You do, and if he can go out there and he can prove it, I'm on here. I'm here for a reason.
That was my thought.
Khalil Dorsey, remember he tore his ACL, or was he broke his leg?
B, before I get my answer, why do you say no?
So yeah.
Just the fact that you're putting them in a special teams group right now. I mean, the safety room is not as bad as people think it is, because it's just because it doesn't say safety by the person doesn't necessarily mean we have a low safety room. We have people that can play that position that we have already on a 53-man roster. Agreed. I think he's going to be on a practice squad, though. Okay. I think that's where he'll turn out. Maybe he'll work from his way up. I mean, he was a red shirtman, and he came back. And they get him in there he was 2 years on the practice squad for Georgia. So there you go. If you think you can do that for Georgia, then he'll probably do that for the Lions. He'll probably be on the practice squad for a couple of years.
Yeah.
He's going to be our Tim Kennedy or Tom Kennedy.
Oh, God. Keep coming back and leaving. Right. I'm going to say yes, because watching his tape, he's a good tackler. Like he's not afraid to mix it up and tackle the runner or tackle the player. And you need that in special teams for sure. His thing is going to be special teams, no doubt about that. And also, too, if you look at the depth behind Kirby and behind Branch, it's Strickland and maybe Avonte Maddox if they kind of move him to safety or put him in a safety kind of room. I don't know. They say they want to play him at safety. So it'd be interesting to see that battle. because they really, outside of BB and Kirby, we really don't have a third safety that we can rely on. We can all agree on that. It was iffy.
He gone.
He's gone.
I'm kind of upset at
He's
that.
gone.
But
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah.
I think Strickland is a very good third. And I think Rocky Yassin also can play some safety spots too. I think it's the reason why they got both of those players in free agency.
Yeah,
so like I said, it's not the safety is not as bad as people think. The depth in the safety room is not as bad as people think it is. It's just that you're looking at the actual people that are safeties with the S on them instead of people that are DBs that can play both positions. So he's a defensive back. I'm not saying Dan Jackson couldn't make it. I'm not saying it at all, but I don't think he's going to start off on the 53-man roster. I think he's going to be on the practice squad. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Sonia, anything else you want to add?
Nope, not on him. He's got his teammate coming in the next pick, Dominic Lovett.
Yeah.
He was a drafted free agent, right?
Yep.
No.
From Georgia. You guys got him as a bonus wide receiver.
Seventh round pick.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, he was drafted. Dang, I'm trying to find a video on him too.
So
okay. Go ahead.
I mean, he had the last 2 seasons in Georgia. He played 18 of those games, 14 starts. 28 games with 14 being starts for him. He had 113 catches for 1,220 yards and 10 touchdowns. After the pick, he basically that you guys, Holmes, said that they had their eye on him for some time because they really appreciate that he could bring value to you guys' special team. And so that's where they think he can be, a ascension to you guys. I know B said when you see the S and everything, you kind of look at it a little different, but he seems like he may bring some versatility to you guys. It looks like before that, he's 5'10", 185 pounds, so he's not super big, 4.40 speed, and was a 2-year starter for the Bulldogs, mostly playing in slot positions. He did start his college career at Mizzou, where he caught 82 passes for over 1,000 yards and 3 touchdowns. So not super big stats right there, but you do see the matriculation. And I think if he can hang through the making the practice squad, et cetera, I think he'll be a good slot for you guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Sonia. That was really good insight on that, especially the Missouri thing. I want to add a couple of things too, because I finally found his profile. So yeah, 5'10", 9 hands, so 31-inch arms. Look at this prospect grade is interesting to me. That's why my eyes kind of popped up. Will eventually be an average starter.
Oh wow.
So he's got a 6.2 grade on his profile. 65 production score, 31st out of receivers. Athleticism score was 73, ranked 23rd out of receivers. Total score was a 71, 23rd out of receivers. 4.4 speed, so he's got some wheels. 2023, he played all 14 games with 7 starts, had about 600 yards, 4 touchdowns. 2024 led the team with 59 receptions, 600 yards, 6 receiving touchdowns, played in all 14 games with 7 starts. So he's pretty durable. That's good.
Yeah.
Strengths, good turnover and lean in the drive phase to build momentum. Stems routes with crisp angles without losing speed. So that means he cuts good. That's good. Unfeathered by fear of collisions from working in the middle. He's not afraid to get in the middle. I love that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Weakness. Hands can be inconsistent when throws aren't right to him. So he can't adjust very well sometimes. Will get bodied and bullied by big nickelbacks. So he gets pushed around a lot.
Yikes.
He's only 5'10". It's not surprising.
Yeah.
Lacks hand fighting and play strength to fight off handsy coverage. So he struggles with physical defenders. So there you go.
In NFL, you're going to come across a lot of physical.
Oh, yeah.
He screams special teams all the way.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. Especially with the receiving room the way we have it now. Yes, I totally agree with you. But here's the thing. I'll throw this caveat in there. The only way he makes the 53-man roster is if he can show returnability. He's got speed. He's got 4.4 speed. But if he can show returnability or play gunner for FIP, he can make a starting position because that's going to be his start to the career in the NFL. Now,
Now,
let me ask you.
that been said, does that leave Khalif Raymond without a job?
No,
Well, first of all, he's got to beat him out of the job that happened without a job, and that's not going to happen in the first
I
year.
think so. Okay.
No.
I'll do one better. Does it make Green possibly expendable now?
No.
Green, whatever
Mm-mm.
happened to him? I thought he had some kind of injury.
He's still on the roster.
He had an injury. He's still on the roster. He's still on the roster. He got let go off the roster so they can make room for roster space, which is funny as heck considering Emmanuel Mosley's still on there and he don't play it down.
Yeah,
but anyway, but Green though he was off the roster last year, but he can go back on the roster at the beginning of the of the football year. So he's technically on the roster right now.
Yeah,
and he's a big body receiver, so we need that. This is not a big body receiver. This is a small guy.
Right. The reason I asked the question is because I think that if you look at Green and Lovett, I think it's his name, right? Lovett, yeah.
Yep.
If you look at Green and Lovett, they were both drafted in the 7th round. They both have good speed. Green's showing a little bit more ability. We haven't seen what Lovett can do. But that being said, I think whoever can return the ball well, because I've told B this many times, we need a better return game on the kickoffs. I'm tired of seeing Craig Reynolds back there. He's not a returner in kickoffs. I'd rather see a faster receiver because the way the rules are set up with the gaps and all that, you need somebody who can hit the hole and go. We don't have that guy right now. Green should be that guy with the speed he has. We'll have to see how healthy he is. But I think this Lovett guy could also be that too because he's 5'10". He's got 4.4 speed. And hey, dude, if you can hit that hole in that wedge where all the players meet, that's going to give us more yards. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, he's fast. Lovett's faster than him. Lovett's got 4.4 speed and
they're both fast.
He's got 4.47. So, I mean, but as a bigger guy, though, I mean, if he's willing to take contact in the middle, he can. This is what I'm saying. He could be a good kick returner.
Sure.
If they put him in that position. I mean, right now he's probably elevated to a gunner at the best right now until he can show his moxie. But I mean, Antoine Green, they're going to, he didn't have to play the first year, so they're going to have to see what he's about the second year. And hopefully he can get through the second year without injury.
I definitely see that now that you say that. Yeah, I can see that.
We have a very deep room, y'all. We have Brown, Williams, Tesla, Patrick, Leaf, Green, Bell, and now Lovett. You've got 9 receivers that literally could make the 53-man roster, or most of them will make it. So that's going to be an interesting cut, And like B said, hopefully we can keep on the practice squad. But when you got receivers that got 4.4 or 4.3 speed, they don't usually stay on a practice squad. That's
the guy they might cut, Ronnie Bell.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's the weakest link, I think, right now for the
Ronnie Bell.
Yeah,
and not from New Edition either.
Go boo, but damn it.
Is Ronnie Bell a speed guy at all?
Is he what?
Is he a speed guy at all?
No.
Okay, he's not going to make it.
He was like a big body guy. He was like
he'll be on the practice squad for in case something happens with a receiver or something like that. Because if you don't got speed, he can't be in the return game. That's just simple as that.
Unless one of these receivers beats him out, that's that we drafted. So that's always a possibility.
True. All right, so that pretty much wraps up our class, man. I'm not going to ask for a grade because it's stupid to ask for a grade because you got to give it at least 3 years to see these players really what they're going to do. So I'm going to go a different way. I'm going to ask you, give me your best pick, give me your worst or your questionable pick, and then tell me how many starters out of this class we're going to have.
Okay. So I'll give you my best pick. I think it's Tyreek Williams. I have to go Tyreek Williams. And the reason being is because he's going to have to step in. He's already a proven guy that he can do something. He's going to have to step in and fill big shoes. And he ain't going to do it alone. He's going to have a team around him that can help him. I think that he's going to bring a different dynamic physicality to the defense. And obviously we will miss Aleem McNeil if he miss a game or two. But I don't think it'll be a huge drop-off. And when Aleem McNeil gets healthy, watch out. Because you're going to be able to – it's going to be Onwuzurike, DJ Reader, Williams, and then McNeil. So watch out.
It's going to be fun.
My questionable pick is it is the receiver, Tesla. I think Tesla is good, but, you traded up 32 spots to get him. And it's like I think they could have just went with a different route. I don't think that his ability is going to be too much of a factor, but it's just kind of questionable to me.
That's fine.
And then what was your last question?
How many starters out of this draft? We'll say it like this. How many starters out of this draft this season? This season. Give me a number.
I'm going to say 2.
Who they are? Who are they?
It's going to be Williams, and it's going to be that guy out of Georgia, the guard. Ratledge.
Tate. Okay. Well done. All right, B, you're up.
I like the Williams pick. I mean, I don't like any of the picks, but they're meh picks anyway.
You don't like anything, B. You're the man on the porch. Go ahead.
No, hey, it's Brad Holmes, so you don't know. Like I said, it's hard to it's really hard to evaluate his picks because he's so good at it. So me being a fan, I cannot like it. Okay. So
yeah.
Anyway, Tyleik Williams, Tate Ratledge, and Miles Frazier are my picks that I kind of like in the draft that they drafted. I think their worst draft. Actually, I think their worst draft is Dan Jackson. Don't like him at all.
Yeah, can't get mad.
And then I think there's going to be just one starter. And I think it's going to be Tyleik Williams. I think everybody's going to be a backup until, because they got the offensive line set unless somebody gets injured
ahead of them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. My favorite pick. I like the Ahmed guy. I'm on board with this dude. Like I'm anxious to watch this guy play. I love his passion. I love the motor. I love the attitude. Like, I don't know if y'all watched the draft when they talked about him, but I think Rich Eisman was like, this is a Detroit pick. This has Dan Campbell written all over it. Dan's going to love this guy. I totally agree. He's going to become a fan favorite for the Lions. I really do.
I really hope so.
Yeah. My worst pick, my questionable pick, it probably is the Tesla one because it's not even for the reasons why most people didn't like it, the jump and the capital. It's just that we have Tim Patrick. Like it makes more sense if you don't have Tim Patrick. You know what I'm saying? Because Tim Patrick does exactly what Tesla can do. He's a big body receiver. He's going to high point the ball. He's going to be able to stretch the defense. He's a big body catch guy. He catches with his hands. Like he's very similar. I don't know if Patrick ran the 40, but I think Tesla might be faster, but it's just the same guy. But that's fine. If it's somebody that you're going to sit down and just continue, Scotty's going to be working with him, give him a redshirt year, or maybe you get him out in a couple of plays on jump balls or something, fine. But this is more of a future pick, like a future starter, in my opinion. So, and then as far as starters this year, I'd probably go Williams. I think Williams has the best opportunity to start on this team because of the Mac injury. And I think there could be a possibility that if Williams really does pop, they could look at the Reader situation and be like, dude, you're 31. We need to get this guy on the field. We don't know. And you save a lot of money too. So, Brad wants to save money. Got to pay those college funds. He talked about that in his presser. So, yeah. All right. Best pick list, though.
Sonia, give us your opinion.
Thank you. So I didn't know since it's not my team, but I would say that I'm going to have a combination of what y'all all have said collectively because I literally was thinking about everything everybody was saying. I think, of course, Williams is naturally the first, get best pick, of course, because he was picked first. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't think any of these guys start. I think we may see a glimpse of them maybe after the first half of the season.
Possibility, you could be right.
Yeah, I don't think they're day one starters. I think they're still in the acclimation phase. I'm big on acclimation and not, production in the NFL because there's so much mental and physical that goes into preparation for playing day one in the NFL. And I just think that they may need a little bit more mentorship when the season starts. And so we may see a glimpse of Williams maybe after the first half of, or maybe the first quarter of you guys' season. And then it is going to depend on what Reader's performance looks like. It is going to depend on everybody else that is around them, around him. I don't agree that you guys traded up to get Tesla. I feel like Tesla would have been still there when you guys got to him. But now you've given up this pick for him. A couple of, I know it's something about compensatory, but still, it's still money or it's still a pick. It's still like a disadvantage to the Lions franchise. I think Tesla would have still been sitting there, especially with so many of us not having, the knowledge of what Arkansas's quarterback situation even looked like to see what type of wide receiver he was. I mean, even sitting here now, we were sitting here like, let's try to pull footage on this dude, and it's scarce and in between. So with that being said, I think he may be the one that is actually, even though he was picked in the 3rd round, I think he may be the one that does not make it going forward. He and of course Dan Jackson, because they seem to be having some issue with positioning of where they're going to play him. And just because he has the S on his chest, like TRILLA mentioned earlier, doesn't mean that's going to be the exact position that the Lions find for him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. Love it. Love it.
All right. Well, that pretty much wraps. Yeah, it's a big savings.
Yeah, so there you have it.
No, it does not wrap it up because we do have some more. We have this.
Oh,
he signed some UDFA players as well.
Okay.
Let me
I'll
tell
be right back. I gotta go
some...
suit up in a Lions uniform. I'll be right back. I need some money.
But right here, wide receiver Jackson Meeks from Syracuse.
Yeah,
probably one of the most prominent guy on this list because guess what? He is the nephew of none other than Zadarius Smith.
Yeah,
kind of makes you think
he got that 200,000 guarantee.
Yeah, that's why he got all that money. Yeah,
it could have been. Maybe Z came to Detroit to hype up his nephew. You never know.
Dang.
Maybe.
But even saying that,
1,000.
That could help. That could happen. Just Zadarius could come here.
Yeah, looking at this list here, you only see one defensive end. So again, they're showing that they're happy with who they have at defensive end in their positions. You see a lot of receivers, see a lot of O-line. Anthony Tyus.
I mean, that tight end salary of $60,000, that's just like a regular salary for an office worker.
Corn, yeah.
Plus 15,000.
He's making more than the UFL makes in a year.
Wow. They always, when it comes to UDFAs, they always say whoever gets paid the most are the players that they really, really like out of the UDFAs, and those are the guys you need to keep your eye on because those are most likely the guys that have a chance to make a 53-man roster. So if we look at that,
what's Pride of Detroit? Is that y'all's UFL up there?
No, that's a podcast. They have their own podcast.
My bad. I was
we shout out to Proud of Detroit. We stole this from you. That's so yeah. If you look at Jackson Meeks, he's getting 200,000 guaranteed. That's big. Caden Prexcorn is getting 60,000. And then looks like Mason Miller is getting 20,000. So there you go. That's pretty impressive,
right?
No, we shouldn't give that.
All right.
Shout out to BMF.
All right. So yeah. Thank you, B. Is there anything else before we wrap this puppy up?
No, sir.
Let's get Sonia's take on her draft. Yeah, let's get Sonia's take on her draft real quick here.
Oh, it's gonna be real quick. It's gonna be real quick because I actually have bullet points. So this is gonna be real quick. Hang on, guys. Lord have mercy.
There you go. Bullet points.
Where is mine? All right. So basically, the Panthers this season, we got a better grade than we have gotten as of late with our drafts. We went from a D 2 years ago where we basically got Bryce. Everybody gave us a D for that because of everything we paid for him. And so I'm going to say this. We finally have paid Chicago back for all of that. We are debt-free going into this new season. Of course, we got T-Mac, the Hawaiian native and wide receiver out of Arizona. That was big for us because, of course, we had Xavier Legette in last year's draft, but we needed to get a more dynamic receiver for Bryce. This whole draft, in short, I'm going to be literally less than 1 minute, is building around Bryce. Everybody basically said, the Panthers defense lacked, but then they continued to build around him. And then in second round, they picked Nick Scorton, the edge out of Texas A&M. We actually traded up with Denver, the Broncos, our nemesis Super Bowl, foes. to get him. He's a highly productive pass rusher in college, and that addressed our significant need to bolster our defensive front. Now, that part was on the defense. Then in round 3, we had pick 77. We traded with New England, the Patriots, and got Princely Umanilian, also another edge out of Mississippi. We continue to invest in the pass rush by trading up. You got to remember, we got rid of Brian Burns last year and sent him to New York. So we're still trying to find somebody in that space. He's also considered another high potential edge defender. A lot of people did want Nick. I know, Brent. I know. You actually mentioned that on my show.
Really high on Nick. Yeah.
He's beating it into the whole thing too. Yeah.
Yes.
He's really PO'd about
And then,
that.
of course, round 4, we got a brother of another Etienne. This is Trevor Etienne, running back out of Georgia. You know, they crank out running backs left and right down here. This adds our depth and explosiveness to our run game. He brings so many different skill sets to pair with Jonathan Brooks, who hopefully we get back this year. We had him last year for like 3 weeks, and he got re-injured. So if you guys don't remember, he came into the draft already injured. The Panthers drafted him anyway. He played a couple of games, maybe 3, got re-injured. The Panthers, after that, fired their entire medical staff because they felt like he was cleared too early to be productive. And of course, he's now re-injured. So it's going to look important to see what Jonathan looks like post now 2 injuries. We may be looking at a situation where Jonathan Brooks may end up being a bust because of those back-to-back injuries, and Trevor Etienne determines that position because our main running back. In round 4, we had at pick 122 through Denver again. This time we got Latham Ransom. He was the safety out of Ohio State, another championship caliber team. He's definitely intelligent and known for reading plays like a book. He's known for his film study habits. Yes, he's known for leadership qualities, and he's known for being very disciplined outside of the field by being very focused in the locker room.
Hey, just don't go up against any Michigan players because
yes, he might. Yeah, right. Then we got Cam Jackson. You know how we love.
He's always got to get that Michigan love in there. There you go, Jay.
Yeah, you know how we had that. I saw that shot you guys threw at us. Round 5, pick 140 was Cam Jackson, defensive tackle. So now we're kind of switching a little bit to go pull him out of Florida. Interior defensive line as well. So what I like was he brings size and strength. And even though we did start out offensively building around Bryce, we kind of flipped a little bit and started building around with our defense as well. Round 5, we also had another pick with Mitchell Evans, the tight end out of Notre Dame. He's also another depth type tight end, and he's going to probably be complimenting for Jatavian Sanders and Tommy Tremble, who we just renewed Tommy Tremble's contract with the Panthers. Round 6, our last and final pick was pick 208 Denver. Again, gave us that one. Jimmy Horn Jr., wide receiver out of Colorado. Shout out to Dion. Smaller, speedier receiver who can contribute in the slot and special teams. Now, the Panthers did prioritize weapons around Bryce, like I told you guys in the beginning, we're getting T-Mac, especially after drafting Xavier Legette last year in the first round. This indicates commitment to basically improving our receiving core. We did double dip on these edges. We did get a couple of edges because we wanted to be more aggressive in acquiring both Nick and Princely because we are emphasizing our pass rush for the future, not just now, especially with some of our current starters that are potentially moving on after this season. Our general manager, Dan Morgan, was very active, very aggressive, and moving up in specific targets that he really valued. And so that's why we made those moves. The Panthers use our picks. We use our picks to address key needs at wide receiver, edge rusher, running back, and safety, while also adding depth to our defensive tackle and tight end. So with that being said, we ended up building on both sides of the ball. And so I'm super happy about our draft outcome.
Yeah,
that was a good draft. You guys had a real good draft.
And Dan Morgan, former player, man, he's killing it there.
Thank you.
Just a couple of stats on Nick Scorton because I'm an A&M fan, so that's my boy.
I figured you probably pull his stuff. I'm like, wow.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, because honestly, outside of Teo McMillan, I think he's probably going to be the most impactful player of this draft class. Yeah. So, Nick Scorton, 6'3", 257. His prospect grade was a 6.40 by Lance Zierlein. He basically says will become a good starter within 2 years is what his projection is. The production, athleticism, total score are 74, 71, total score 77, about top 10 in the edge ranks. Athleticism was 25th. This was interesting. So his comp, you ready for this, B? His comp was Trey Hendrickson.
Wow.
So if he's anything like Trey Hendrickson, that's a damn good pick. A damn good
we didn't
pick.
get him.
Yeah, because everybody was looking for Hendrickson.
Yeah.
See?
What did they be?
I said, and we didn't get him. Damn it.
Yeah, here you go. I'm pissing off the Lions fans.
Come on, what do you
No,
mean?
but I mean, Nick would have probably been the first round pick. But anyways, so these comps are comps. These guys do study a lot of film, so I do respect what this guy says. But that's, I also saw this, and y'all gonna laugh at this, and we're gonna wrap up soon. Is basically the OSU D-line coach. Y'all ready for this? Did y'all hear about this?
I didn't.
Okay. The OSU D-line coach says that Williams moves like Aaron Donald.
Oh, wow.
And
well, of course he did, because he's the defensive line coach for OSU. Come on.
yeah, but Aaron Donald, damn. But I this is what I said. And I'll say the same thing about Nick Scorton. If that dude is half of Aaron Donald, then Brad Holmes hit one out of the park. That's all I'm going to say. Same thing about Nick Scorton.
Yeah.
If Nick Scorton is half of Trey Hendricks, y'all did just good.
Yep.
You know who your surprising pick is going to be in that draft, Sonia?
Cool.
It's Jimmy Horn. Jimmy Horn had a father had a father that he played for the Saints. Played for the Saints, and I'm gonna tell you something. Usually, not all the time, but usually athletes that have kids that are in the NFL, they usually fare pretty well in the NFL. I think he's gonna be an asset to your team. I do.
Joe Self-Horn.
Yep, Joe Self-Horn. Horn.
We love horns. We got JC Horn already.
Oh yeah, Are they related? Are they related though?
I don't think so. I didn't hear anything about that, but yeah, when they got a sibling or a parent, like look at Christian McCaffrey's dad, like they ball all the way out. So I'm super excited about.
And I agree. Go ahead.
You forgot his other son was balling out a little bit too for Washington. So you got to look at that. So I mean, yeah, these guys are great. We'll go ahead.
Yeah, and I agree.
Scientist for a coach. Good luck with that.
He's not. Yeah. I agree. I agree with B on that. What he said about Joe Horn Jr. is that because if you look at the Panthers, the way they're constructed right now, you have Leggett, who's a big body receiver. You have Teo McMillan, who's a big body receiver, and you have Adam Thielen, who's more of a slot receiver. So Joe Horn fits that slot perfectly, along with Thielen if he needs to get a breather. Because I think Thielen will still start over Joe Horn, but they'll work Joe Horn in certain packages. But really what it comes down to is you have two big body receivers now that Bryce Young can just throw it up there and say, hey, guys, go get it.
I'm sitting here seeing if they related now. No, they're just talking about his father. They're just talking about Joe Horn's father.
Mm-hmm.
Wait.
Yeah, Joe Horn's got some wheels, man. I watched some Colorado Buffalo football, and that guy can move. He can definitely move.
So this is weird. They're saying that Joe Horn, there's another Joe Horn. It's actually J.C. Horn's father. So I don't know.
I think they're all related in some way, maybe cousins or something like that.
I was going to say maybe their brother or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sonia, I liked y'all's draft class. I think y'all got some pretty high grades as far as draft classes, and surprising guys, we got worse draft grades. But you know what's funny about that? Everybody crapped on the Laporta, Branch, Gibbs, and Jack draft class, and
they are fire.
Who's laughing now?
Yeah, and that's what I'm telling people. You guys actually was asking about who we thought would take the field as opposed to being starters. I'd like to say any of those guys that the Panthers drafted have a fair shot at being starters because we just have such a big need. We don't have time to wait.
He's better start.
Yeah. Thank you for asking my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome.
Anytime you want to hear your opinion is valid, Sonia.
Oh.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
He's asking the teacher. Come on, man. Come on.
So let me give you some draft numbers. Draft numbers for Green Bay, because
Oh,
you know,
God.
yeah, joke about this a little
Got to
bit.
make fun of him. Let's
So
go.
2025 NFL draft, 205,000 people attended the first round at Lambeau Field, almost twice as many as Green Bay's population.
Yep. Y'all had
Now-
way more in Detroit.
And well, in
They ain't going back to Green Bay. I'll tell you that right now.
Green
though.
Bay's total matches it with Nashville as the second highest in draft history. Only Detroit, which had 775,000 people attend the draft. Detroit has a population of 630,000.
Mhm.
About another
Put that-
100,000
that.
folks in there.
Put that, yeah,
Take it
yeah.
as you focus.
there's
They
about-
were complaining about Green Bay because Mike Carrico was on here. He's
There's
one
nothing
of
to
the
do
hosts
in
for-
Green Bay.
He said they had capacity for 100,000, but they let 200,000 people inside of this place, and for 40 minutes they were basically, the fire marshal was basically talking twice as much as crazy. They weren't even built to handle that.
Playing the world's smallest
Well,
island because nobody gets
to
crap
be
on
fair
it.
with that, the Lions did the same thing on day one. They were letting people in and near the end. That's how they got that 275 in the first one, because they were letting a lot more people in that should have been in there. However, everything went fine. And I don't like the shots that were taken at us. It was a couple of Green Bay fans that I know are talking about, oh, at least we don't have to worry about
Whacker
people shooting
haters.
each
We know
other.
that. Whacker
You know
haters.
what? Nobody's in Green Bay to have crime. So I mean,
something that really gets me and really fucking irks my nerves when people talk about Detroit, because people don't know about Detroit. People don't know what it's actually like out here. I like it that way, but wherever there's a high population, there's going to be a lot of fucking crime, no matter what city or state you're in.
No, you're right. You're right. 'Cause
Anytime
There's more
there's
people.
a lot
It's
of
just
people
simple
close to each
facts.
other,
There's more
there's going to
people.
be a lot of crime. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I visited Detroit a couple of times, and y'all know I live in Atlanta, and trust me, crime is crime. And I tell people that it doesn't matter where you are, where you got people, you're gonna have crime.
Hell, you get more crime in white suburbs than you get in the hood.
Like
That's where they got the good stuff at.
It's mind-boggling that people have to run with that narrative, but I mean they're just dumb. I mean, I think that's really what it is. I think they're just dumb. Yes.
Small-minded. That's how
Yes.
people are. They're small-minded.
well, in Detroit, it's not the case, Nate. But
Chicago's even
you're
worse,
fine.
but nobody's talking about that.
Yeah, Chicago is. The top 5 just came out of the crime city.
Yeah.
Chicago's second.
They break the record for that. every
Detroit's
year.
5th, but Chicago's second.
It's over
But
5
F
million
Chicago,
people
because
in
I
that
don't care
city.
about Chicago, because I hate Chicago.
I hate
So that
Chicago too. I hate all
Hey,
Chicago.
was Houston on
I
that
hate
list? Where's Houston?
But
Was
the
Houston on that
crazy
list?
thing is that really quick
Houston
is that
was way. I
it's
think they were
over
way down.
5
What about
million
Atlanta?
people in that city.
They were way down
Yeah.
too.
Yay.
You know
It
what
was
I'm saying? Look,
Memphis was up there.
Oh, Memphis. Let me
Go
tell
ahead,
you.
Jay. Go,
yeah,
hey,
Memphis is
go-
crazy.
go- Yeah.
But look at the population of these cities, right? Like if you look at all these high crime populated cities, LA, like New York and stuff like that, man, it's like 20 million people in New York.
It's
And
just
they
Of course
living
there's
on
gonna be a
top
lot
of each
shit.
other, literally. No yards.
just-
whatsoever.
people hate Detroit because of what they've been through and what the city has been like in the past. And I'll say this right now: I've been to Detroit many times lately. It's not the same.
It's
Like,
no
it's not,
city. You know something? It's no city like Detroit out there, man. This is a resilient city. Everybody here, people in Michigan are freaking happy. I want to put it to you that way. People in Michigan are happy.
Especially right now, man. Sports has never been the best it's been. Like
and
Tigers are good.
It's a narrative
Pistons are
that
good.
Detroit
Lions
is just
are
like
good.
this nasty, dirty place, but it's just like
Yeah.
it is the exact opposite, though.
Small-minded people, man. Small-minded people. I'm telling you.
I never got it, man. I just never understood it, man. I don't know, man. That's me. That's it. That's
all right.
Cleveland's another city. Cleveland's another city with high crime too.
Well, it's
St.
Ohio.
Louis, Cleveland, Baltimore. Those are high crime
I
cities.
think you see the pattern, like the Midwest. There's nothing to do, so people just decide to commit crimes. It's like in Tommy. It's like
crazy.
Yeah, it's like in Tommy Boy. Have you ever seen the movie Tommy Boy? When they say, "Well, what are you gonna do?" and he's like, "Well, there's tons of stuff to do." And what do they end up doing? They go cow tipping. That's a Saturday night for them. So I guess committing crimes is the thing to do in the Midwest. I don't know.
But hey, look, I got to get out of here. I got to get my night started. I got to make some.
Yeah, we're about to wrap up. All right, Jay.
Yes, sir, y'all. Hey, I appreciate everybody for having me on. Sonia,
Thank you.
always good to have you on and getting your
Good segment, buddy. Good segment.
So, yes, sir. Y'all have a great one.
You too.
boss.
Bye. He's such a sweetheart.
Yeah. All right. All right, B. Yeah, exactly, Brandon. It's just small-minded people making stupid comments. All right, y'all. We're about to wrap this show up. Any final thoughts? B, anything else we want to go over before we wrap this puppy up?
I'm glad draft is over. I'm glad Shadur Sanders got drafted.
Shout out.
I'm just happy for all that stuff because I'm getting tired of hearing all that stuff.
Well, we're gonna hear it. We're gonna hear it tomorrow.
Although just to put in there, so the person that pranked Shadur Sanders is from Atlanta.
Yep.
It's Atlanta, one of the Atlanta.
It was the defensive coordinator.
The coordinator. Oh Lord!
I'm like, and that's why Atlanta Falcons is as garbage as they are, and they will continue to be because of their fan base.
And I tell you what, man, Deion's gonna strike the living hell out of all these people for what that happened, the way they did that to their son. So,
well, from the last thing I heard that they weren't they're not going to do anything. Well, at least the Atlanta organization is not doing anything about that whole prank situation.
They should, because how was that number leaked?
That was crazy.
But Shador, well, they have the number based on the fact that they have draftees that they call, so they probably had their name.
Yeah, but the coach is, but the article said the coaches are the only ones that have that number. You can't give that number to other people. Like, that's a privacy thing. That they should do something about it, because how did that number get to a kid that when it's your son? Like, you know what I'm saying?
He said his iPad was out, but let's be clear. This dude is not a kid. He's in college. He's,
there's
not a tiny kid. He knew what he was doing. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I've played pranks and called people in college, but clearly this takes the record. I mean, did you guys see the video where Shador was like, okay, he's like, yes, sorry, man, you got to wait a little long. He's like, what does that mean?
It's funny, but it's sad. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was sad when I read it, but when I saw the video and once I started talking about it again, like,
I hope they take some kind of thing against those people, or that coach gets.
He said he had just gotten that phone from Boost Mobile too, like just for the draft. Like, his number wasn't even out there. So I thought it was an inside job at the phone company. Like, yeah, y'all, look, we got these numbers we gave out. No,
it was the coach that had it.
My sister was stalked like that from a T-Mobile associate years ago. She had gotten a new phone. This dude literally was relentless. Like, he was sending stuff to the house, and every day he sent a card. Every day for like a month, he was sending cards. Somehow he was professing his love, and I was like, "What is going on?" She changed her number. He was able to get in there and get it again, and it was just a lot. This was like 15, 20
sounds
years
like a whole
ago.
mess, man, right there.
Yeah, and so it happens.
Yeah. All righty. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. Thank you, Sonia, for coming on. As always, it's always great to see you.
Yeah, I got you guys set up for next Sunday. I got your NFC South people. I got you a book. I confirmed that today.
You just gave my whole point. I was about to say it. You read my mind. Yes. Next week we'll be doing the NFC South debate. Looking forward to it. Sonia and her crew are gonna be here going at it. All the smoke's gonna come out. We're gonna let them just duke it out, and we're just gonna sit back and enjoy it. Hopefully, they won't throw shots at us because they have no reason to.
Well, you already know Kevin will.
Well, they probably will.
But if he shows up.
Yeah. But for the most part, we're gonna be just sitting back and enjoying the show.
To the Panthers.
But real quick, Sonia, before we wrap this up completely, where can we find you? Tell us.
Oh, yeah. So I'm Prim and Proper Sports on YouTube. You could literally just Google it at this point. I'm also on TikTok, The Pretty Sports Lady. And I'm on all the socials, Carolina Pantherette, owner, creator, whatever you have it, fan club. Just look for me, Sonja, last name Pearson. And as they say, I'm not hard to find.
The ray of sunshine.
Always great to be on, guys. Thank y'all so much for letting me come on today.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course. Have a time.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Take care, Sonia.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
All right, Mr. B. Let's wrap this puppy up. Any final thoughts on whatever we've talked about?
Nope. I'm good. I'm ready to go. Let's go. Let's
ready? Are you ready for football season to start like everybody else is after the draft?
Man,
go.
April 27th, man. We got a long way to go until that. Well,
know.
it goes by fast, you know.
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I'm with you, man. I'm just glad it's over. I'm glad that all these players relived their dream, had a great time with it. Now it's time to go to work. Like, that's it. It's time to go to work, prove yourself, prove your worth, and show them what they already know or show them what they don't know about you. That would be the best way to say it.
I hate NBA refs, by the way. I just want to let you know that. So the refs admit brutal missed call that one at the end there when Hardaway got pushed in the last play.
They really came out and said that.
Yeah, I hate that when they do that. Just stand by your call.
Let it go.
If you didn't make the call, just let it go.
Yeah, now Biggerstaff's
gonna
go now the coach is gonna go crazy about this whole thing. See, you all admitted that we're wrong, and now what? You know, he might just go all full nature boy on him.
But congratulations to the New York Knicks. I think they're going to take this in 5, like I said.
Yeah, no, it's been a great series. I love watching the old school basketball back, like the hard nose fouling, the no calls. Like, man, it was good. It was good to see that, especially in this league where we see a lot of things just go by the wayside. But yeah, B. So yeah, we have our show next Sunday, same time, same place. Please like and subscribe to our show. And yeah, like Sonia was saying, next week will be the NFC South. That's going to be contentious. I'll just say that right now. We will not have to worry about interjecting or asking questions because I guarantee you from the get-go, they probably will be going at it like a family feud. And I can't wait. It's going to be fun. But
and just to let you know on another note that the OAC3T daily show is going to come to an end next Friday. Obviously, some hours got to change. My hours have changed as far as my employment is concerned, so I have to work during the day. So I won't be able to do it at 2:00, but we are in negotiations. I'm going to make this sound professional as hell. We're in negotiations to see if we can come on daily in the evening at an appropriate time. So just look out for us. We will be having some announcements later on, probably early next week. Hopefully, we can get something done. So
and now, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying. And now that the season is pretty much the off season is pretty much wrapping up, we're going to go through some dead period time unless something crazy happens. So we're going to be looking at doing some giveaways. We're going to be looking at doing a lot of things in the summertime. So please tune in. Please subscribe to our show because if you want to have an opportunity to be in these giveaways, stuff like that, you have to be a subscriber of the show. And we also want you to be a subscriber continuously, not just signing one time and then we never see you for the rest of the time.
Yeah, we like to let you see our content once in a while. I understand if you can't get on at the time of the stream, but just, still kind of glance at our, kind of view at our, even if it's like for 15 minutes or something like that. We like the consistent people
out there. You know who you are.
Right. Yeah, because we have good content. Sometimes we ball out over here, but other times we have really good content. So just go ahead and get us on there, view, like, subscribe, whatever. Other than that, keep your head up.
Yeah, and as always, fuck the Bears, fuck the Vikings, fuck the Whackers. Stay classy, Whackers. And this is the One Ass Cheek and Three Toes signing out. Go Lions. Good night.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the show. Join us on YouTube, X, Instagram, and TikTok under One Ass Cheek, Three Toes.